This may have been the most exciting run of last year's 5A championship game. The head coach at Mount Carmel, Frank Lenti, trying so desperately to avoid the traditional Gatorade dumping after his team clinched the 5A championship. Today, his team will try to go for a fourth consecutive title against Wheaton Central, the Tigers, in a rematch of last year's 5A championship game. Hello, everyone. I'm Ron Gleason. It should be a spectacular game today in cool and windy conditions. Alongside of me is the head coach of Oak Park High School, Jack McInerney. And Jack, a rematch of last year, some revenge on the mind for Wheaton Central and for Mount Carmel trying to do it again.
Well, that certainly is the case. The two of the teams that played last year, it is not cool, it is cold and windy, but it is a rematch. Should be a great game. Last year's game was decided early by the special teams from Mount Carmel.
Indeed. In the first half last year, some incredible moments, including block punts. Let's take a look. This was the second of 3 block punts in the first half that truly accounted for the fact it was a shutout a year ago, a 24-0 final. And look at this, an 82-yard run by Bobby Sanders that set up a 1-yard touchdown play 1 play later. This was the final play of the third quarter. Sanders would score on the ensuing touchdown. And the final play, the final touchdown play. The quarterback, Mike McGrew, a junior a year ago with a 5-yard touchdown run. He is back again this year. But for Wheaton Central, it is that chance for revenge. And so important, a team with good offense, good defense, good balance.
Well, they really have greater balance this year than they did last year. Last year, they were somewhat one-dimensional with Scott as the tailback, and he was hurt for the championship game, so they didn't have him. This year they have Adam CLEMENS, who has over 1,000 yards rushing, and the quarterback Brown has 17 yards passing, so they certainly are not one-dimensional. They also had a tougher bracket to come through to get to the state championship game, so I kind of think Mount Carmel's going to have all they can handle today.
And what does it mean for Wheaton Central to have a chance for revenge? Well, we spoke moments ago with the head coach, John Thorne, of this Wheaton Central team.
We're real happy to get here. We're very proud of the kids. They've worked extremely hard, and their goal was to get back here and to win the championship, no matter who was here to play against us. And we like the idea that we're playing against Mount Carmel. They're a great program, and if we can beat them, then that just makes the kids feel all that much better for the kids who graduated last year.
And as for Mount Carmel, what does it mean for their chances to come back and win 4 in a row? They have tremendous balance as well.
They really do. They have a 3-year starter and quarterback, Mike McGrew, who has been here 3 years in a row and has led the Caravan to 3 straight state titles. But the difference is the Ninja Turtles on defense. They play excellent defense, have had 8 shutouts in a row, and again, that will cut down on Wheaton Central's versatility. It should be one heck of a football game.
2 great defenses as well. And during the course of the game, we'll be hearing from the sideline reporter, Joe Passion. Let's go to Joe.
All right, thank you very much, Ron, and certainly you've talked about the teams and how they got here. Let's give you a little bit more insight on John Thorne and his Tigers from Wheaton Central, who will be here, the visiting team in their white jerseys. And they're, of course, from DuPage County, just west of the city of Chicago, out of the DuPage Valley Conference. And the road to Normal got them, and it started out with a victory over Stagg, and then shutting out Oak Lawn by 34, and then that dramatic last-second field goal victory over #1 ranked and unbeaten Richard, 17-15, and of course the big upset over Joliet Catholic's Hilltoppers, 28-6, to get John Thorne here. Now the Mount Carmel Caravan are back again for the 4th year in a row, and Frank Lenti's team did it with shutouts. Of course, they're out of the southwest side of Chicago. 3 shutouts in the postseason play, and of course here on the field, similar to yesterday, the wind is going to be ferocious. Again, ironically, it's coming out of the north and very cold. Yesterday it was a little warmer coming out of the south, and a lot of different aspects of the game will be played out because of that. Temperatures about 25 degrees, more in the lower teens with the wind chill factor. In the meantime, let's meet the players that'll be on the field and move up to PA announcer Steve Adams.
Let's meet the coaches and players for this Class 5A state championship game, featuring the Tigers of Wheaton Central and the Caravan of Chicago Mount Carmel. First, for Mount Carmel, let's meet the head coach of the Caravan, Frank Lenti. Assistant coaches, Pete Camholes, Dave Lenti, Don Sebastian, Tom Sulo, Mark Carmen, and John Pataki. And now the starting defensive lineup for Mount Carmel. At left end, number 86, Keith Reynolds. At left tackle, number 81, Simeon Rice. At right tackle, number 67, Kevin Reynolds. At right end, number 8, Lance Kenziger. At nose guard, number 59, Josh Barron. At linebacker, number 55, Matt Clemens. At linebacker, number 42, Kevin Kilroy. At cornerback, number 24, Haran O'Neal. At cornerback, number 10, Kevin Zanin. At free safety, number 7, Don Veronese. And at strong safety, number 2, Tony Mazurkowitz. Those are the Caravan of Chicago Mount Carmel. And now introducing the Tigers of Wheaton Central. First, the head coach of Wheaton Central, John Thorne. Assistant coaches, Ron Muhich, Bruce Munson, and Denny Walker. And now the starting offensive lineup for the Tigers. At left end, number 80, Randy Swatland. At left tackle, number 62, Tom Herman. At left guard, number 64, Pete Economos. At center, number 54, Terry Bogue. At right guard, number 51, Christian Olson. At right tackle, number 72, Todd Avery. Right end, number 24, John Ellsworth. At quarterback, number 7, Jeff Brown. At halfback, number 20, Adam Clemens. At flankerback, 23, Chris Johnson. And at fullback, number 32, Phil Adler. Those are the Tigers of Wheaton Central High School.
And those are the starting lineups for this ball game. Wheaton Central coming in 11-2, the same for Mount Carmel. And an interesting story, Jack, when you take a look at how the season progressed for this Caravan team. They began the season with 2 consecutive losses to Joliet Catholic, 37-31, to Simeon, 6-4. And then there were some questions. How good would Mount Carmel be this year? But boy, have they come back with a vengeance, 11 consecutive victories.
Well, they really have, but the question early was, you have to remember that Joliet Catholic ended the season up 12-1, and at the end of the regular season they were 9-0. Simeon was also 9-0, so they played and lost 2 great teams early.
Now we want to show you something that has dramatic significance for Mount Carmel. It's called the goalpost. Why is it significant? Well, we'll show you.
Well, there's a scapula that they put up. This is a tradition at Mount Carmel that somehow or another they get into the stadium before the game starts and they tape up a scapula on one of the goalposts. And this is something they started many, many years ago, and they've continued to do it, and it's been kind of their good luck charm.
Well, they've certainly had great luck during the course of this year. They had those 7 consecutive shutouts we talked about. Could have been 8, but last week in the semifinal game against Rockford Boylan, in the final minute and a half, the reserves gave up a score. You talk about defense. A defense that's giving up only 4.5 points a game during the course of the year. They had also shutouts earlier on in the season.
Well, you know, out of the 13 games that they've played thus far to get here, they have had 9 shutouts out of 13 games. That tells you they have an incredible defense, and Wheaton Central is going to have that offensive versatility to go up against this defense and be able to penetrate it.
Well, they feel they do with their quarterback Jeff Brown having passed for some 1,700 yards this year. Mount Carmel won the coin toss, elected to defer, so they're kicking off. Ante Kopp doing the chores to an up man at the 30-yard line, breaks a tackle, and down at about the 33-yard line. So that's where Wheaton Central will have the ball, first down and 10 after the return by the 5'8" senior Sean Reynolds. And Reynolds goes right back out to action.
Not real bad field position to start off a state championship game. If he kicks it in the end zone, they get it on the 20, and here they've got it on 32, so not a bad place to start with.
Jeff Brown, the 6'3", 170-pound senior quarterback, who says he has been so nervous before the opening playoff game, while he nearly lost his lunch. We'll see what the nerves look like as he goes back to pass on the initial play. Throwing for about a 15-yarder complete at the 45 and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Tony Bezirkowitz, the man who knocked him out. And the reception made by John Ellsworth, the right side end. Here we see the backfield of Brown and Adler, Clemens, Swatland, the tight end, Ellsworth, the man who just made the reception, and Chris Johnson, the flanker. Herman, Economist, Bogue, Olson, and Avery make up the offensive line, a line that averages 200 pounds at 6'1". At the 45-yard line, after gain of 13, it is first down and 10. Slot formation to the right. The give to the first back. He gets out beyond the 49-yard line. A look at the defensive starters. Reynolds and Rice, Barron and Reynolds. Triplets, actually, in that family. Kensinger, Crimmins, and Kilroy. And in the defensive backfield, Haran O'Neill, Kevin Zanin, Don Veronese, their two-way player, and Mazurkowitz, the strong safety.
Well, Wheaton definitely is going to have to keep Mount Carmel off balance with their offense by throwing the ball and running the option. That's the way that they're going to be able to do a job with it.
Clemens takes the pitch, dancing to the outside and danced down at the 49-yard line of Mount Carmel. Kevin Reynolds and Keith Reynolds, the two of the three triplets in the family, team up to knock him down. It'll be third down after gain of about 1.5 yards. Make it third and maybe 4 to go.
Well, he's close enough, as you can see the quarterback there getting the plays from John Thorne. Usually when the ball is on the hash mark closest to their bench, the quarterback has an easier time just walking over there and getting the plays rather than having a receiver bring it in.
Yeah, a little scrambling here. Yeah, indeed. They messed up the formation. John Ellsworth, the man who was off mark, but he lines up in time. Back to pass Brown. He's got his man at the 45 and down at the 44. It looks like a first down. Completion to Randy Swatland, the left side end, who comes in with 23 gabs for more than 400 yards this year.
Got a flag. This could be brought back, illegal motion here.
In the meantime, though, you see it, the completion and the tackle by the leading tackler from Mount Carmel, Matt Crimmins, but it will be brought back. 2 minutes in, no score. The 5A championship game, and a chance for some real revenge for Wheaton Central. Their fullback, Phil Adler, came in saying that Mount Carmel embarrassed them last year.
Holding, offense, third down.
And Adler says the goal from the beginning of the season has been to beat Mount Carmel. To do that, they had to get here again, the championship game. After the hold now, it becomes third down after the loss of 10 yards, 3rd and 14. Back down to the 38-yard line in Tiger territory. Terry Bogue, the center, and Brown behind him. And Brown back to pass. Looking down the right side, it's almost picked off by Kevin Zanin, the weak corner. He stepped in front of Randy Swatland, the intended receiver, at the 45. Instead, it'll be time to punt the ball away on 4th down.
Obviously, the Wheaton Central coach is a little upset with that call. They thought there was an interference right there, that he got a forearm, and thought they should have got a flag, but it didn't work that way.
Zanin and Veronese were both nearby, and after Zanin had a shot at the ball, so too did Veronese. Adam Clemens, the man handling the punting chores. He's in all everything for Wheaton Central.
This is where it all started last year. The same scenario in the opening. First time that Wheaton Central had a punt is when they heard him.
Joe Glass back deep to receive. The punt is short. It hits one of the Mount Carmel players. On the pile-up, Wheaton Central takes it back. It took a strange hop into the back of a Mount Carmel player. And they have yet to unpile, but it is indeed belongs to the Tigers of Wheaton Central.
What an interesting scenario as we look at it. Last year's game was decided in special team areas, the lack of it by Wheaton Central. And here on the first punt, they get the opportunity to get the ball back. It hit number 24 in the back of Mount Carmel. What an ironic twist here for Wheaton Central.
Haran O'Neill, and Chris Johnson, I believe, is the man who recovered it. He was right there. So first down and 10 with the ball at the 37 of Mount Carmel. Brown gives it to Adler, the fullback, and he is pounded back after gain of a yard and a half by strong safety Tony Manzerkowitz. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go.
Interesting point during the playoffs. Adam Clemens during the regular season was the leading rusher for Wheaton Central, but as the playoffs transpired, Phil Adler really came on strong because most teams started keen on Clemens, and Adler had a field day throughout the playoffs running inside the tackle, so he's looking for a big ball game today.
Chris Johnson wide to the left side. John Ellsworth is wide to the right. Adler and Clemens are the running backs. 32 is Adler. Fake to Clemens. Going deep. Nobody is there except Veronese and Zanin. And Zanin, the man who tried to pick it off. It looked like the intended receiver down the sideline, Ellsworth, was held up.
I think that Jeff Brown threw that ball away rather than throw an interception. The coverage was excellent. He didn't want to take a sack. And having good field position, he just threw that ball away. What a difference a year makes. Last year, that wouldn't have happened. This year, a veteran quarterback who's thrown for 1,700 yards is smart enough to throw it away. Let's see if we can see the coverage downfield. You can see right here, number 24 is the main receiver, but he really wasn't open, so he just threw it out of bounds.
3rd down and 8 at the 35 as Brown brings them up. He was on the JV squad a year ago. Talk about a big turnaround for Jeff Brown. And he turns to his left, gets a good block, and throws. Almost picked off in a diving attempt, 2nd effort, but incomplete. And so it'll be 4th down. Bill Phelan almost able to pick it off.
You can see a little sprint here. They're trying to get away, put a little pressure on the corners, and good defense there by Mount Carmel.
And Bill Phelan almost having a chance after Ellsworth leaped high in the air. Going behind in the diving try, just falling short. So 4th down. Adam Clemens back into punt. Veronese now is deep to receive at about the 10-yard. Goes to it up back. And on the fake, unsuccessful, but Mount Carmel will have it. And the field position played a big role there. The Simeon Rice is the man who brought down the up back. Phil Adler, Kevin Zanin also in on the play. So Mount Carmel takes it back, but not necessarily a bad play, although it was 3rd and 8. But from a punting situation here, you've still got Mount Carmel on the Caravan end of the field.
So we take a look at it in a punt formation. He's trying to go right up the gut, but you can see the linebackers fill. Gives you an idea how well coached Mount Carmel is. They didn't fall for it.
Ball at the 34-yard line. Man in motion is Phelan as he gets racked up hard at the 35. A pounding hit you could hear for yards and yards away. Aaron Bartnick, the man who knocked him down. You see McGrew, the 2nd-year starter, along with Clifford and Smith and Cushing, Veronese, and Phelan. And the offensive line of DeFlippo, Harnetti, McKenna, Bob O'Rourke, and Mike McCool. The line averaging 218 yards per man against a defensive line that averages 199 pounds for Wheaton Central. 2nd down and 9 after a gain of a yard. On play action fake. And only a defender there. Picked off by Ben Kloss. And he is brought down at the 46-yard line. Interception by Wheaton Central as the Tigers have another terrific opportunity with great field position.
It's almost as if Wheaton Central knew what the play was coming because they had a stun on at the last second. They pulled a stunning strong safety out of there, and he jumped back into the flat, and he's actually the one that made a deflection. You can see right here, a deflection there, and there's the strong safety in position to make the interception.
So Wheaton Central already with its 3rd possession compared to 2 plays for Mount Carmel total. At the 46, 7:10 to go in the opening quarter. No score. A little mix-up with the pulling guard, and bouncing outside anyway is Clemens. It'll call up a 2nd down. Looked like Economos got stuck behind Terry Bogue as he pulled out.
There was a big pile up there, but Reynolds came up and made the tackle for Mount Carmel. They're a tough team to run against, and the pressure is going to be on Wheaton Central's offensive line today to try and do the job up front. Mount Carmel is tough.
Well, when you say Reynolds, you got to say which Reynolds. You're dealing with triplets here. In fact, Kevin was asked by someone the best advice his parents have given him. He said, don't have triplets. 2nd and 8 at the 48. Adler with the carry. No, the quarterback keeps it instead after a long fake, and he's stared down behind the line of scrimmage. Tony Manzerkowitz, the man who got him. And there's Brown and Adler, and those two guys were just holding on to the football at the same time.
Well, it's an outside veer, and he's reading the outside, but Adler's holding on to the ball, and he's really lucky right here that he didn't fumble the ball. The outside veer is the toughest one because that usually is the truest read, and it's really between the fullback and the quarterback as to what the defensive end does, whether he gives it to the fullback or not. And in that case, Adler wanted the football.
-2 on the play. Chris Johnson wide to the right. You see the quarterback on 3rd down and 10, Jeff Brown. He has John Ellsworth off to the left side. Back to pass. Looking. 1st down territory, but it's dropped by Randy Swatland. The tight end tries to come up with it on the diving attempt. He was just beyond that 1st down marker, but he could not hold on in 4th down.
Excellent throw by Jeff Brown. Put the ball right on the money. You can see right here. Good job here by the offensive guard of keeping out that stunning nose man. Good technique. Puts the ball right on the money. Right in the seam for the 1st down. Instead of using his hands, it lets it hit the shoulder pads, and that's a no-no in high school football.
And a linebacker, Kevin Kilroy, back trying to defend on the play. Clemens will punt it away. End over end. He'll take a big hop. A bouncing field at the 25 and wrecked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. The return by number 31, Joe Glass. And you see the hit. 32-yard punt. Let's take another look.
Well, it's a good snap. And you can see he's trying to punt away from the receiver, hoping for an AstroTurf bounce, which he gets. But the receiver gets over there, but he's kind of hemmed in. A good job by the special teams people from Wheaton Central.
No score. 5:34 to go here in the opening quarter. And that man, Frank Lenti, trying to wrap up not only a 4th consecutive state championship, which only one other school has ever done, Joliet Catholic in the 70s, but here's the pitch and a rattle, and the ball is loose. And Wheaton Central gets it again. Chris Wing and Ray Schnerstein are right there. On a tough pitch to Therrell Smith, their leading rusher. But the Mount Carmel having trouble, but let's see. Let's take another look.
The key to this is the people for Wheaton Central's defense are at their responsibilities on the option. There's a man on the quarterback and a man on the pitch man. They did an excellent job of disrupting that option.
Schnerstein is the man who forces that fumble, and Chris Wing recovers. 1st down and 10 at the 21-yard line. To the right side.
Oh, he fumbled.
And does Mount Carmel have it? Or does Wheaton Central maintain possession? It still belongs to the Tigers.
Phil Adler on the inside trap. After his run, he fumbles, and it looked as if the Caravan was going to get it back. But fortunately for Wheaton Central, one of the Tigers fell on it.
2nd down and 6. So there have been 3 turnovers committed by the Caravan already.
Very, very unusual for Mount Carmel. They usually don't even have that many turnovers in the entire ball game, more or less the 1st quarter.
Slot to the left. Ellsworth the wide man. Johnson in the slot, but the give goes right up the gut to Phil Adler. And what a difference a year makes. Let's take a look coming in after Matt Crimmins had made the stop. Look at the stats.
You can see the difference in the stats here, and what it is, it's the versatility of the offense of Wheaton Central. Look at the total yards between last year and this year. The versatility of one player last year versus the run and pass this year gives them much more versatility.
And the Caravan defense at the bottom of the screen. Look how much they've given up.
That's a difference. They lost a lot of veteran players last year, but they've done a great job. And of course, right now they've got their backs to the wall.
3rd down and 4. Clemens takes it up the middle behind a surge of the offensive line for the 1st down inside the 10. 1st down and goal for Wheaton Central. Simeon Rice, the biggest guy on defense for this Mount Carmel team, makes the stop. The only guy you cannot say is a member of the Ninja Turtles.
Now, right now you can see the surge by the offensive line of Wheaton Central, but the key block there was by the fullback Phil Adler on the lead, and he led up and picked up the linebacker so that Adam Clemens was allowed to pick up that 1st down.
Keep in mind that this first unit on defense has not given up a touchdown since the early stages of the regular season. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line with a slot left. Brown back to pass, looking at the 5. He's got his man at the 4, cuts inside Clemens and nailed down at about the 2. Adam Clemens with the reception. Kevin Kilroy, Kevin Zanin, the 2 who knocked him down 2 yards shy of the goal line.
Let's take a look at it. Key to this is the excellent pass protection that he's getting. It's a good throw right on the money to Adam Clemens, but ironically, 1,700 yards passing for Jeff Brown, no touchdown passes.
And Jeff Brown gets back behind his center, Terry Bogue. Second down and goal at the 2. Clemens again. He is over for the touchdown. Adam Clemens, after 14 touchdowns coming into the game, picks it up. And Wheaton Central gets on the board for the first time in 2 years of championship play against Mount Carmel.
Well, the key again right here is going to be that Mount Carmel, will their defense, after having shut out 9 opponents this year, now all of a sudden Wheaton Central scores in the first quarter. Very, very unusual after 13 games for Mount Carmel. Let's see if Wheaton Central can keep the pressure on them.
Chris Johnson, who had a big, thrilling kick against Richards earlier on in the playoffs, puts it up for the extra point. Good. So Wheaton Central, shut out a year ago in the championship game by the same Caravan team. With 2:58 to go in the first quarter, takes the lead at 7-0. The Tigers get on the board first, 7-0 over Mount Carmel here in the first quarter.
Well, here's what we're talking about right here. It's just a good tough run by Adam Clemens, but the surge by the offensive line, you can see the tight end right there, Randy Swatland, kicking out the linebacker, doing a great job right there. He buries the defensive linebacker, and that's the key to the touchdown.
Adam Clemens with a 2-yard dive to get in, and now here is Chris Johnson to handle the kicking chores. The ball has to be held with a very strong wind, 23 miles per hour out of the west blowing. High kick, the wind will carry it just a bit. Taken at the 12, to the 20, to the 30, and out of bounds just shy of the 35-yard line. The return is made by Bill Phelan. And Mount Carmel will have it after only 58 seconds of possession time so far here in the first quarter.
You can see him setting up the wedge towards the hash mark, and nice job by Wheaton Central just funneling to the sideline.
And for Mount Carmel, they are not used to playing from behind. They had to play from behind against Joliet Catholic and Simeon, games they lost. Since then, they have always been in the lead all season long since game number 3. At their own 32, Mike McGrew, the second-year starter. And he tries to hand off there, but holds on at the 35 to 37-yard line. Boy, as he faked or either tried to hand off to Thurell Smith, he had all kinds of trouble. And let's take a look at the defense they're facing. Now, keep in mind that Wheaton Central has only been on the play for 3 or 4 different plays all told on the field. Bussin, Mickelson, Stanislaw, Christensen, Martin, Bartnick, and Gallagher. Mickelson, by the way, will share time at defensive tackle. And here are the secondary members: Wing, Schnerstein, Floss, and Johnson. Mike McGrew was set up behind his center, Neil McKenna, who is flanked by Bill Harnedy and Bob O'Rourke. The fake to Smith. The pitch back instead to Cole, and he is knocked out of bounds by Chris Wing. Solid defense for virtually no gain, maybe a yard.
Well, Wheaton Central is really playing games defensively here. They're showing one defensive concept to the option-orientated Mount Carmel Caravan, and then at the last second, they jump out of it. And the key to the option usually is if you can outnumber 1/2 the line of scrimmage. So if they look at one side, they say 4 defenders, that's the side they want to run to rather than the 5-defender side. But Wheaton Central's jumping around and making it very difficult.
3rd down and 4 at the 38-yard line of Mount Carmel. Snap count, trying to draw them. The give to Thurell Smith. He is bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Ray Schnerstein, the strong safety, first man to get in there. Boy, did they swarm to the football, and Aaron Bartnick, couple of others, also right there, no gain. 4th down.
Well, as we progress through the game, when we get those the angles here, it's after they do the jumping defensively prior to the snap. So when we get some of our wide angle shots, you'll see prior to the snap how they jump around and are confusing Mount Carmel's quarterback as far as the offensive calls.
Don Veronese to face the crosswind with his punt. Deep to receive, Adam Clemens. Beautiful punt. Sails way back inside the 20. Clemens going to have to let that roll, and it's going to roll at the 5-yard line. What a punt by Don Veronese, a 57-yard punt. And Wheaton Central will have it deep in its own territory. Let's go down to the field and check in with Joe Passion. Joe?
Well, we have already talked earlier, and I think Jack brought up a pretty good point, how Mount Carmel's not accustomed to be having it taken it to them early on. And maybe one of the reasons for that is because of the senior-oriented team that Wheaton Central brings in here today. You may remember when these two teams met here last year, Wheaton Central had a lot of seniors on that team. But they only lost 20 seniors from that team that was here last season. They've got 32 seniors now this year for Wheaton Central. As for Mount Carmel, they lost 37 seniors from last year's championship team and have 33 seniors on this year's team. Right now, they've got to start coming together to bring this back in line and catch up on a 7-0 deficit. Back upstairs now to Ron and Jack.
You saw the carry there by Adam Clemens. He got a yard. It's 2nd down and 9 with the ball at the 7-yard line in Wheaton Central territory. The Tigers out of the DuPage Valley Conference. They're in the championship game, but they could not even win their conference title. That's how tough the DuPage is.
Well, interestingly enough, the 6A for the 6A championship will be one of the teams that beat them, Glenbard North. And, of course, the other team that beat him was Glenbard West.
This is Phil Adler getting beyond the 10 and carrying 2 men with him to the 12. Matt Crimmins, Kevin Kilroy, the inside linebackers, the men who were able to knock him down. It is 3rd down and about 3 yards to gain.
Well, the talk before the playoffs, we're looking at the pairings, and Wheaton Central had a very difficult bracket to come through to get here. And a lot of people thought Mount Carmel, of the two teams that are here right now, had the easier way to go. And Wheaton Central upset Richards to get here. And then, of course, in the semifinal game, beat an undefeated Joliet Catholic Academy to get to the championship game. So they had to really work to get here.
Well, here in the 5A championship game, Frank Lenti, and there you see the head coach for Wheaton Central, John Thorne, enjoying the lead. It's 7-0 as we head to quarter number 2. Ron Gleason along with Jack McInerney back on the campus of Illinois State University in Normal. 7-0 as we go to the 2nd quarter. The Tigers of Wheaton Central have the ball. 3rd down and 3 at their own 13-yard line. Jeff Brown, the quarterback, bringing them up. And they're in the center of the field, so the wideouts are very wide on either side. Clemens gets the call at the 15. He is very close to the first down. Simeon Rice knocks him down. I think he may have it at the 16-yard line. He had to get just shy of the 16. And it would appear, yep, he is beyond the 16. They've got the first down.
Well, Adam Clemens isn't real big, but he runs with a lot of power for a little back. And half of the biggest part of that is that he gets his momentum going coming out of that tailback spot and generates that power. And it does a great job, over 1,000 yards rushing this year for Wheaton Central.
His older brother Tyler was a nose guard in the team that lost in the semifinals 2 years ago. Wheaton Central has progressed year by year in the postseason. After the fake, he gives it up the middle.
Draw to Adler.
Yep, he's at the 31-yard line. Adler with a nice carry, and Keith Reynolds, the left side end, the man who knocked him down. But what a great play by Jeff Brown, the way he held the ball in the air first as if he might pass.
You see the lineman showing pass and the quarterback dropping back, and then all of a sudden Adler has the football and the guards attack upfield to get to those linebackers. Great job of running here by Phil Adler, who really came on in the playoffs.
15-yard gain for Phil Adler, 917 yards. In fact, against Joliet Catholic a week ago, he ran for 129 and 4 short touchdowns. On 1st and 10 at the 31, Clemens breaks 2 tackles, 40-yard line at the 42 before the weak side corner Zanin has to finally nail him. Another first down.
He runs a lot bigger than 156 pounds, but you have to remember he's a veteran. He started last year in the state playoffs. Here he comes right here, number 20, Adam Clemens. He doesn't have great speed, but he has great quickness, great quick feet to make those cuts.
So Wheaton Central back 1st down and 10 at the ball at their own 42-yard line, on the move, leading 7-0 in the 2nd quarter. Adler up the gut, and that time he is gutted down after a gain of maybe a yard. You see a bevy of tacklers on top of him there. Let's take a look at the defensive line play. Now Mount Carmel stopped this play.
You can see the center blocking back and the guard trapping, and he does what he's supposed to do. He just drops down, keeps his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, and then it's just all pursuit by the linebackers and the other defensive players for the Caravan.
Wheaton Central in the quarterfinals in '88 before knocked out. In the semis of '89 before departure. In the title game a year ago, and the motto this year for John Thorne has been one step more. Fake to Adler. Looking down the sideline, and tied up was Ken Sonnenberg. Defending him, Tony Mazurkiewicz, and Mazurkiewicz was the closest one to the pass on the sideline.
He was lucky. He was running right along the Mount Carmel bench, and it looks like he got in a traffic jam down there.
Frank Lenti had a close eye view of the receiver, Ken Sonnenberg, the junior. Boy, look at that. Wheaton Central dominating so far in this game. Mount Carmel has 1 total yard so far in the contest. 1 yard. 2 minutes gone nearly in the second quarter. Out of the pro set. The give to Adler. That play was a big gainer earlier, but not that time. He's wrapped up by Simeon Rice, the left side defensive tackle. Mentioned earlier, Rice 6'5", 223-pounder. And outside of the others, why the Ninja Turtles, who are short and squatty primarily, as Coach Frank Lenny says on the defense, but the big guy nailed Adler that time.
Well, again, it was just a draw, but they could not handle Simeon Rice, who made the play. They ran the draw earlier for a 17-yard gain, but they couldn't get anything out of it that time.
4th down, punting situation. Clemens to punt it away. He's got a beautiful punt. Deep to receive inside the 10-yard line is Joe Glass. At the 20, 27-yard line before he's nailed down. A 48-yard punt. Boy, have we seen some great punting here in the first half.
Well, Adam Clemens was the punter last year, but he never really had an opportunity in the state championship game to showcase his skills because Mount Carmel specialty teams blocked the punts and everything else. But he is certainly doing it this year. A great high school punter.
Well, John Thorne talks about how they had trouble with special teams in that championship game last year. Those 3 blocks in the first half alone, he said, that got them back in training camp. They were working that much harder on their special teams play to get back to the title game.
Well, that's an outstanding play right there, just catching the football.
This is Thorell Smith, an outstanding run beyond the 40-yard line. First down for Mount Carmel. A gain of 14 on the play. Thorell Smith averaging 6.5 yards a carry this year, and helping carry the Caravan back to another championship event. You know, Mount Carmel has won 19 straight playoff games. That's an all-time record. When Joliet Catholic in the 70s won 4 straight titles, there was 1 game less each year, 1 fewer game, so they won 16 straight. What an accomplishment. Oh, and a stick! A loss of a yard. What a hit put on by Steve Buss, the left side defensive end. All 6'5" of him. He nailed him.
Well, that was supposed to be an outside veer. Watch the quarterback come down, and he just, the outside linebacker just crashes down, and the inside linebacker scrapes outside. Right there's the defensive end. You can see the top of your screen, the outside linebacker scraping to take the quarterback. Great defensive play.
So Andre Cole, the sophomore, is nailed for a yard loss. Second down, little more than 10 to go. On the fake, pitch goes to Smith around end, and he is belted out of bounds after a gain of about 2.5 to the 42-yard line. The corner, Chris Wing, is there to get him.
Well, you know, the difficult part about that is they're running that option into the short side of the field. Now, it's one thing when you run the option in the short side of the field and you give the ball to the dive back, but it's another thing that after you fake the dive, that you try to get out there, there's nothing to stretch. There is no field to stretch. So if the quarterback ends up pitching to the tailback, he has nowhere to run because he's right on the sideline. So it plays into the defense to run the option into the short side of the field.
The short side receiver is Veronese. Bottom of your screen, Bill Phelan. After the play action fake, MCGREW throwing fairly deep. Diving attempt. Intercepted. Yes, he caught it. Inside the 40-yard line, Chris Johnson, the free safety. Johnson has been all over the field as he has throughout the postseason.
Well, there's a couple of receivers right in that area, too, which then also brought the defensive backs that were assigned to them. You can see right here, MCGREW initially wants to go to the fade route, and he looks back then to the seam route, but then both receivers converge right here. and that consequently brings 3 defensive backs into the same territory, and it ends up in an interception.
4th turnover against the Caravan. Wideouts either way. Brown gives it off to Clemens, trying to cut to his left after the initial surge, and gets a couple. Kilroy, the man who killed that from progressing any further. Chris Johnson, number 23, checks back in the game. The Caravan defense so far having much more trouble than they are used to throughout the course of the year. A team that had 9 shutouts. A remarkable accomplishment. And Wheaton Central trying to do the remarkable this year. They beat number 1 Richards in the quarterfinals. Then the new number 1 in 5A, Joliet Catholic, they knocked off in the semifinals. 2nd down and 8. Brown to throw up the middle. He's got Johnson, who's railed down at the 40-yard line. A twisting stop. And Tony Mazurkowicz, the man who hit him, slow to get up. Kevin Zanin also there on the play. 1st down for Wheaton Central.
That was an excellent throw by Jeff Brown. You can watch the pass blocking up here. A nice job, but he catches him right in the seam after he goes right by the linebacker. Excellent throw by Jeff Brown, the senior. 102 completions this year and 180 attempts.
19-yard pickup. He has now completed 3 out of 8 for 39 yards. 1st and 10 at the 41 in Mount Carmel territory. The pitch goes to Clemens. On the sweep to the right, dances inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. O'Neill and Veronese team up to knock him down. And look at all the decals on the helmet of that man, Adam Clemens.
Now he's looking for a seam right here. Watch him cut back. What quick feet he has, and he just powers his way upfield for a nice 1st down. And he's looking for a face mask call, and he got it.
Yep, flags on the field. Officials will talk things over. The referee, Chuck Esposito. Let's see.
See if we can see the face mask right at the end. Right there. There it is, and he had it. No doubt about it. Interestingly enough here, as long as Wheaton is hanging in here, they're believing more and more. You know, it's a psychological thing. Mount Carmel's won 3 state championships. Wheaton lost last year to him badly, and now they're hanging in with him and hanging in. They're starting to believe.
1st down and 10 at the 19-yard line. And after the give to Adler, gains a couple. Simeon Rice in on the play. Veronese was the man guilty of the face mask. It's 2nd down, about 8 yards to go. Adler, the junior, we mentioned 4 touchdowns a week ago against Stagg in the opening round of the postseason, while he racked up better than 150 yards on the ground. Clemens and Adler been a great tandem in the offensive backfield.
Well, it's a great combination, and as we mentioned in the pregame, the versatility of their offense has been a big factor.
Clemens with versatility around the end gets down to the 13-yard line, and Crimmins smacks him out. 3rd down.
Well, they're really doing a nice job of mixing up the offense. You can see here a little foul block between the guard and the tackle, and of course Adam Clemens with that good speed and excellent quickness is giving a lot of versatility. They're running traps inside, they're running the option, they're throwing quick slants, they're throwing fade routes. They're really keeping Mount Carmel on their toes.
Indeed, checking the defensive alignments here. Frank Lenti having a terrific career. But right now, it's Wheaton Central having a terrific time on offense. Somebody may have jumped, no flag. The quick throw to Chris Johnson falls down at the 5-yard line, making Clemens on the reception. And it's the official who got hit hardest on the play. Clemens made the catch.
The ref really took a shot on that one. Say a fade route here, and he just does an out and a curl. Ball is delivered. Let's watch right at the end. The defensive back, number 10, comes right up and continues. Boom. There goes the official.
Kind of saw the feet going out there. And the key for Wheaton Central is 1st down with the ball down. 1st down and goal at the 6-yard line.
They're really doing a great job here, keeping Mount Carmel's offense off the field, controlling the clock, and moving the ball.
Since the opening game of the year in September, no team has scored more than 1 touchdown against the Caravan defense. Wheaton Central with a golden opportunity. At the 6, Clemens with a carry. Dances outside. He got it. Touchdown. Just inside the pylon.
It's kind of a stunned Mount Carmel bench down there. It's It's hard for them to believe. You know, they've been so dominant over so many years. And, of course, Wheaton Central is playing an awful good football game, so it's going to be interesting to see how Mount Carmel recovers.
Adam Clemens with his second touchdown run of the day.
Great job of blocking by the entire offensive line of Wheaton Central. They just lock on people and stay right with them.
Chris Johnson now will go for the extra point. It looks good. It is good. So the Caravan defense, for the first time since the opening game of the season, has given up 2 touchdowns. And it's Wheaton Central in the 5A championship game that's got it rocking and rolling right now. Wheaton Central is having some fun against Mount Carmel in the first half of the title game.
Adam Clemens on a sweep. Great effort here by Simeon Rice, number 81, but Clemens just barely beats him by a toe to the corner right there. Breaks the plane. Great effort by Rice. Kind of an iffy call, but when you're down there like that.
Looked like he barely got the inside of his left leg on the pylon, but only because he was being pushed out. That really looked like he was out of bounds. However, Wheaton Central's not going to turn it down. Chris Johnson now is going to kick it up. Terrell Smith will let it roll over his head, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Interesting to see how Mount Carmel now responds, being down 14-0. And, of course, they're not used to this kind of a scenario.
Let's go down to Joe Passion on the sideline. Joe?
I had a chance to talk to Mount Carmel quarterback Mike McGrew after the last 2 turnovers and ask him what kind of adjustments need to be made. And he says it's really not that big of a problem. The defense for Wheaton Central, they're filling the gaps in a hurry, and he's got to just adjust his audibles. He said the biggest problem is just staying up. The motivation right now doesn't have a lot to turn on. They're going to have to try and turn it around on this series right here. Back upstairs.
They're trying to turn it around to Veronese at the 50. He breaks free. 1 man to beat. Johnson. And they'll nail him out of bounds outside the 10 at the 12, 13-yard line. The reception made by Don Veronese beyond midfield. He danced away for a while, but Chris Johnson finally caught up to him. However, the Caravan in one big pass play from McGrew to their stellar receiver, Don Veronese. And Veronese is the man who really may be the key to the turnaround after their 0-2 start.
The key to this was that they showed option one way, got to secondary to rotate, and then he was able to throw back, and the wind held the ball up a little bit, but now they're coming down, and it'll be interesting to see how Wheaton Central holds up here.
Veronese was only on the defensive secondary the first 2 games. They moved him to become a 2-way player. First since '85 for this team. On the option, the give instead goes to the first man, Terrell Smith, and he's clobbered down. Veronese, according to Frank Lenti, may be the single most important factor to having turned things around after that slow start, making him their 2-way player. And he has added a tremendous dimension for this team on the receiving corps and helped out Mike McGrew immensely. A 66-yard play to Veronese before that run by Terrell Smith.
Well, prior to that, they were really one-dimensional from the standpoint that they ran the option and didn't really have a deep threat, but now they have that.
2nd down and 8. First back going throw, and he gets maybe 1 or 2 yards. Andre Cole. And he's down at about the 11-yard line. Cole, a sophomore who got in the starting lineup when Mike Clifford went down with a neck injury in a practice the night before a game. So Cole got his first opportunity earlier on in a contest and has not relinquished that fullback and halfback role since. 3rd down and 6. Ball at the Wheaton Central 10-yard line. On the fake. Veronese, the man he wants. Almost picked off, but he's got it. And he's down at the 2-yard line. Great effort by Veronese to wrestle it away from Jason Martin, the weak side linebacker.
Excellent throw by McGrew on a quick out. Puts the ball right on the money here. It's kind of a duck. This is a good effort, defensive effort, but that's just great concentration by the receiver.
So Jason Martin almost able to nab it away. And Chris Wing, I should say, the man who is right there as well on the defensive side.
And you saw right there at the end the fumble on the hit, but the ball ended up going out of bounds.
It is first down and goal. The ball at the 2-yard line. Mount Carmel trying for its score. First one of the day. In motion comes Phelan. The give to the up back. That is Thurell Smith for the touchdown. Two-yard touchdown for Thurell Smith. Give him 22 for the season. An outstanding campaign.
Didn't take Mount Carmel long to recover from those straight 14 points by Wheaton Central, and you can see that's why they're champions. They kept their composure, came right back and drove down the field, and we've got ourselves a heck of a football game early.
14-6. They'll try to make it 14-7. Ante Kopp is the kicker, left-footed, a soccer player from Mount Carmel. George Nolan on the hold. It's up, a beautiful kick. 2:43 on the clock here in the second quarter, and it only took about 2 minutes from the time Adam Clemens had given Wheaton Central a 2-touchdown advantage until Mount Carmel was able to drive 80 yards, including that 66-yard pass play from MCGREW to Veronese to set up the 2-yard run by Smith.
Well, MCGREW, being a 3-year starter, of course, is the veteran. He's the one that has given versatility. And, of course, right now you can see the lead back, the motion man, coming in here on the veer. And this is just a good effort here to get into that end zone and bring Mount Carmel back into the ball game.
So it'll be kickoff time again. MCGREW so far in this game now 2 for 4, 75 yards, a couple of interceptions. There have been 4 turnovers, 2 of which have resulted in scores by this team, Wheaton Central. On that drive, while MCGREW hit 2 for 2 to Veronese, and an 80-yard drive lasted but 1 minute and 58 seconds.
Interesting drive, makes you think about the 2-minute offense. There's a perfect example of it with time to spare.
Ante Kopp will kick it off, and this will be fairly deep, taken at the 9-yard line by Chris Johnson to the 25, to the 30, and nabbed down at the 32. So Wheaton Central will have it, first down and 10. And let's take a look at some of the highlights from yesterday's action. Start with a 1A championship game. 32-6 with Stockton coming out the champ. And this was a key play. The punter, Nolan Hirschberger, for Arcola. But he had trouble, punted it into the back of his teammate Jim Monahan. And Steve Smith, you'll see, will grab the football, look one way, get hit, go back the other, and he will score a touchdown. And Stockton came up the champ. The initial play goes down in live action there. It'll be second down after gain of about 4 for Wheaton Central. The 2A championship went to Fulton yesterday, 28-8 over Greenfield. Dennis Hosey, the quarterback, an 18-yard touchdown pass to Sean Price, and chalk it up as part of a 19-point second quarter. Back at the 5A championship in live action, 14-7, Wheaton Central on top late in the second quarter. Second down and 6.
He's got it wide open.
He's got his man right there. And down at the 43-yard line. The reception is made by Randy Swatland. And a first down in Mount Carmel territory at the 45.
If he hadn't jumped for this ball, if the ball had been thrown a little lower, he had 6 points. He is wide open right here in the seam. Great catch by Swatland, but in making that great catch, it prevented a touchdown because he had nothing but running room ahead of him had the ball been a little lower.
21-yard gain. Slot to the right side, a wide out to the left. No tight ends this time. Brown again looking to throw. He's wide open. And down at the 33-yard line. Kevin Zanin knocks Swatland down after he gets another reception. And you talked about it earlier, Jack, as we see that Swatland gets up enjoying that grab. That the key to this Wheaton Central attack this year from a year ago in the championship game, their ability to mix things up, no longer one-dimensional.
Well, that's the key to it. Jeff Brown has really given them the dimension through the air that in order to be a great versatile football team and to get to the state championship game, you have to be able to run as well as throw. And of course, Jeff Brown with 1,700 yards passing has been able to do that and give Wheaton Central that kind of versatility.
The man down is Kevin Zanin, the weak side corner from Mount Carmel. He was the man who was right there to make the hit on Randy Swartland at the time of that reception. So Kevin Zanin, the man that his teammates called Dr. Z, blocked a couple of punts in last week's game against Joliet Catholic. 2 punts he managed to block in that game. 5'9", 160-pound senior, and Zanin in a bit of pain right now. Let's see if we can see what happened to Zanin.
You can see the helmet right there. Just kind of as the wave came down, I kind of think he might have got the wind knocked out of him. He's sitting up now, which is a good sign, and I think that's what it was, just the wind knocked out of him. But I think it's going to be interesting at halftime here, the adjustments that Mount Carmel makes in their offense in regard to what Wheaton Central is doing to them defensively. They're taking their strong safety and putting them right in the middle of the field between the 2 linebackers and waiting until the last second to run him as a monster to the right side or to the left side, which is really screwing up the audibles from MCGREW as far as running the option. It'll be interesting to see what kind of a change Mount Carmel makes at halftime.
Kevin Zanin apparently okay, runs off under his own power. Jeff Brown, as he brings them up, 6 for 11 for 78 yards passing. He has Ellsworth wide to the right. Chris Johnson is in the slot. There's a wingman off to the left, like a tight end who's barely split off the line. Handoff goes to the up back Adler. Breaks a tackle somehow. Maintains his balance to get to the 31-yard line.
That was a heck of a run.
That really was. I'm not sure how he was able to stay afloat, but somehow he did.
Let's take a look here at the trap block right there, and he cuts right up underneath it. But here's a drill you use. You have them put their hand down, and it's a stumble drill, and that's a great job of running there by Adler.
The whistle you heard was from live action as Wheaton Central was thinking about quickly running a play. We have but 1:05 to go, and there was a penalty called. They may have an offside. Let's see.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment by the defense.
Encroachment indeed. The ball at the 21-yard line. And it'll be 1st down and 10 from there.
Wheaton Central is really showing a lot of composure here, coming back after Mount Carmel scores on them. And I think it's that year of being here. They're a year of veterans here.
63 seconds away from halftime at the Mount Carmel 21. Brown to throw. Intercepted at the 10. 15 to the 20. And Tony Mazurkowicz knocked out, but he picked it off. Big play before halftime by the 5'10 senior Tony Mazurkowicz, who last year had 5 pickoffs during the course of the season, but none bigger than that one today.
That was just not a real good choice by Jeff Brown. Here he's sprinting out. He had an out and up route by the inside slot man. He just forces it right into coverage. You can see that the linebacker came underneath, and it just was not a real good decision on Jeff's part to throw that ball. Had he thrown it out of bounds, he would have saved it down and saved field position. You can see right here, he just tries to drill it in there, but there's no leverage. There's nowhere the receiver could go, and they had coverage underneath and over the top.
Mazurkowicz, the president of the for this Mount Carmel team, number 3 in his class overall academically. Back to pass, and now he's going to run with it at the 10 to the 12-yard line and down with under a minute to go. It might be at a point now where they'll let the clock run some and maybe try for one big play or just totally let it run out. 45 seconds on the clock. But that could be a very big play indeed from Mount Carmel. It stops Wheaton Central's chance to at least come up with a field goal, if nothing else, and go up by more than 1 score.
Well, against a team like Mount Carmel, you really have to take advantage of the field position you have. And in this situation, they could have at least attempted a field goal. And, of course, you never know what's going to happen if you don't try it.
Veronese at the top of your screen, wide to the right. They have Bill Phelan wide to the left. 17 seconds on the clock. Long snap count. And they will let the clock run as they hand it off instead to Andre Cole up the middle. He will be responsible for 2 yards on the carry. Aaron Bartnick brought him down as the clock continues to wind down until halftime. 1 second, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So Mount Carmel, the Caravan, which came in with those lofty standards of 3 consecutive state championships, 19 consecutive playoff victories, but they find themselves trailing Wheaton Central, the upstart, the surprise team in 5A this year, leading 14-7 at halftime. Okay, we are back at halftime of the 5A championship game. Wheaton Central leading Mount Carmel by a score of 14-7. Right now, let's go down to Joe Passion, who's got the leading coach.
John, the turnovers that have gone your way, but nonetheless, the momentum still seems to be wavering somewhat. Biggest adjustments you feel you've got to make coming out in the second half?
Well, we can't give up long passes like that and not play good pass technique. That was, the whole drive was just some fundamental mistakes, and the kids will come back and play real well, I'm sure, the second half. It was a horrible pass we threw right there at the end. That was unfortunate. We were in position to kick the field goal. So we just gave them too many mistakes in the last 4 or 5 minutes, let them back in the ball game.
Okay, John.
So John Thorne, the head coach at Wheaton Central, and we'll see why, well, we can't really see why he looks so glum-faced there here at halftime, but he certainly has his team on top right now. You see that 2 touchdown runs by his halfback, Adam Clemens, really got things going.
Well, it really did, and of course, from last year, the special teams doing the job for Mount Carmel. This year, the special teams doing the job for Wheaton Central. They've had given the turnovers. Their punting game has been excellent, putting Mount Carmel down in a hole. But the key has been Clemens. He's running the ball well, and he's also punting the ball well.
And the key for Mount Carmel, you see Thurell Smith having scored on a 2-yard run. But the key on that possession was a 66-yard pass play from the quarterback, Mike McGrew, to Don Veronese, and that set that up. But take a look at Mount Carmel as they have progressed in this game. Their times of possession, not a single possession has lasted longer than 2 minutes. Their longest, 1:58, and they have had 3 possessions of 1 minute or less, and that's a big credit to the defense of Wheaton Central.
It really has, and it'll be interesting to see the adjustments that Mount Carmel's offense makes in regard to what Wheaton Central has been doing from a defensive standpoint. They've been making big changes, waiting till Mount Carmel comes to the line of scrimmage, gets out in their formation, and then they make their defensive adjustments. This has been a factor in Mount Carmel's offense, and I'm really interested to see the adjustments that they will make at halftime.
Also, turnover is a big factor for them committed by Mount Carmel in the first half. When we return at halftime of the 5A championship game, Joe Passion will be joined by IHSA executive Don Robinson to talk about these football playoffs. We'll be back.
Welcome back down here on the field of Hancock Stadium. We're at the half with Wheaton Central leading over Mount Carmel 14-7. Joe Passion back with you, and very privileged to have with me Don Robinson, the Assistant Executive Director of the Illinois High School Association. We were just talking during the commercial break about the attendance figures here, and I guess the weather does usually pay its toll, but nonetheless, we've got some pretty healthy crowds.
Well, we have had very good crowds. We're very happy about that. I think attendance overall this year at the playoffs through the 5 days are going to be down a little bit from last year, but last year was a record year when 311,000 people watched the playoffs. So if we get to 275, considering the weather we've had this year, we'll be very pleased with it.
One thing we've also noticed too is the downstate schools, again, you know, they close up the towns, they bring them all down here, but even the Chicago schools are also starting to really bring more and more, and I've seen this personally, I think, in the last 3-4 years. Do you attribute that to anything, Don?
Well, I think the word's getting out that this is a great place to watch a football game. Illinois State does a great job for us here, and the stadium's 15,000 large, and that's about the size we need at the present time. You know, we'd hopefully outgrow it, but the point is it's a good situation, and again, Illinois State and Ron Wellman, the athletic department, done a great job for us. We're very happy to be here.
Well, of course, you know, down here, this is also a weekend where the coaches, whether they're coaching or not, all come down, so the hot stove topics all come out, and one of course, is the seating process that started this year. From the Illinois High School Association perspective, what has been your general feedback, and do you foresee any changes in that ruling for next season?
Well, so far it's a little early to tell, I think, whether or not things have been accomplished that we were trying to accomplish. I think probably it'll take a few years to do that. So I think basically the answer, Joe, is that yes, we're going to stay with a very basic part of the enrollment of the opponents being the classification structure. So I think as we look at it, we may have restricted the schools a bit too much as to who they can play or who they will play. So I think on that basis, our board is going to look very seriously at that. But by and large, I think the process has worked very well. The teams that are winning this year are winning by playing opponents that they have played relative to size all year long, and that's what we intended it to do.
The other hot stove topic, of course, has been the ruling that is being talked about, and of course will be ruled on in the near future. Rules that will actually restrict recruiting violations among large public schools in the Chicagoland area, particularly parochial schools throughout the state of Illinois. Your feelings on that?
Well, Joe, first of all, parochial school recruiting is not the only recruiting we're talking about, because the public schools are also involved in that in some way, and I think it's a shame that we've lost sight of what high school athletics is all about. We're here to teach the kids a lot of things that can be taught in the classroom, but you don't learn near as well or near as quickly. So I think you know, we've got to get away from the win at all cost attitude and teaching kids to do what they can until officials catch them doing it and then stop or complain about it or blame somebody. So I think those are the attitudes that we really need to dwell on, and recruiting of 8th graders is absolutely ridiculous, for goodness sakes. So the bylaw that is being proposed and being voted on right now certainly has some flaws in it, but I think by and large it's a step in the right direction, because it's just ridiculous going out and giving 8th graders scholarships. That doesn't make sense at all.
All right, one last thing, Don. A little bit of fun, but somewhat seriousness. I want you to bring this to the next IHSA meeting. I've got a great idea to add more excitement to the high school football weekend. Now, with basketball, you're bringing in the three-point contest, the dunk contest. Remember the old punt, pass, and kick contest? I would love to see, you know, the best punt passers and kickers in the state of Illinois come out here, and the 100-yard dash in full gear. We could have that, the fastest kid in Illinois. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we ought to do that. I think we ought to do it for older people, Joe. So some of you people who remember the good old days can get involved in that. So yeah, you know, certainly the three-point thing that we're going to do and the slam dunk stuff is a promotion element on our part, and we're certainly hoping that we can restore some of the interest in high school sports just for the fun of it. And you know, as I said, I'm not one who would belittle winning and losing at all, but the fact of the matter is we got to get back to some of the fun that people used to have in high school athletics, and we hope some of those gimmicks will help us do that. And punt, pass, and kick is a good idea. I'll take that back to the board, Joe.
Okay, if they need any more, just ask them to give me a call, and I'll try.
No problem, Joe. I'll tell you.
Don Robinson, our Assistant Director of the Illinois High School Association. We'll be back with more from Hancock Stadium of this 5A championship game. We're at the half. It's 14-7 in favor of Wheaton Central over Mount Carmel.
Ron Gleason back with Jack McInerney. Halftime, Wheaton Central in the 5A championship game, leading Mount Carmel by a score of 14-7. And let's take a look at how they came to account for all these scores. First, in the initial quarter, it was a defensive play that made the big difference. You see Thurell Smith forced out by the defender Ray Schneerstein, and the recovery made by Chris Wing, and that will lead to the first touchdown.
Just a dive play, but good job of quick feet by Adam Clemens on a 2-yard run. First touchdown for Wheaton Central.
To the second quarter now, and you'll see Clemens, who is celebrating there, do it one more time.
Adam Clemens, a veteran from last year's second-place team in the state, just races into the corner here and does a great job of getting 6 more for Wheaton Central.
Finally, Mount Carmel was able to get on the board. Thurell Smith with a short 2-yarder.
Thurell Smith's been a workhorse all year, and they go to him in the clutch when they need a touchdown, and he picked it up for him.
And turnovers have been a major factor in this game. This was in the initial quarter. This was a play, the second turnover of the contest. Ben Klaas picking it off and getting it right back for Wheaton Central. They picked off a couple of passes and also got a couple of fumble recoveries, and turnovers have been such a major factor so far in play for half number 1.
Well, you know, it really is interesting compared to last year. The same scenario last year, except the turnovers were for Wheaton Central. So it's almost a mirror of last year, with the exception of you're changing the jersey colors, who's having the turnovers. Wheaton Central taking advantage of those turnovers and scoring 14 points, but Mount Carmel will make the adjustments at halftime, and we've got a great second half coming up.
Another big story here has been the defensive effort by Wheaton Central against Mount Carmel's offense, because they have particularly been able to keep the Caravan off the field.
They really have, and I had made that point about looking to see what adjustments Mount Carmel will make. Wheaton Central takes an extra man, puts him in the middle of the field, their monster man, and at the last second will adjust him back and forth. It'll be interesting to see the adjustments that are made.
Stats at halftime, you see Wheaton Central with a dramatic lead in terms of rushing yardage, dead even in the passing department, but those turnovers have been critical. And look at time of possession.
Well, the key is look at the first downs and the top line and the bottom line, time of possession and the drives picking up first down. So it's interesting to see that Wheaton Central has taken advantage of the turnovers, but they're also keeping that very potent Mount Carmel offense off the field.
We still have half number 2 coming up in the state championship matchup between Wheaton Central and Mount Carmel. It's the rematch from a year ago, and the Tigers gunning for revenge. Back at halftime of the 5A championship, third quarter coming up. Caravan Trails. Let's find out what they've been talking about. Go down to Joe Passion. Joe?
All right, thanks very much, Ron. Frank Lenti, head coach of Mount Carmel. Adjustments obviously plenty to make in the halftime. What the ones that really stand out for you here?
I think the biggest adjustment we've got to make is quit committing every sin known to football, because we've done them all in the first half. We just have to tighten our belts a little bit and show our true class and our true character, and go to work from there. Option game, we've got to adjust a little bit of our blocking to the outside, and then we should be okay. The big thing is we've got to take care of the football. We can't keep giving them good field position.
Defensively containing the outstanding backfield for Wheaton Central.
Well, again, you know, those kids on the Wheaton team are doing a fine job, but I think we're leaving our defense on the field a little bit too long. You know, they'll do a great job, then we turn the ball over after 1 or 2 plays, and we can't win doing that, Joe.
Okay, go get him, Frank. All right, Frank Lenti, head coach. And in addition to that, one thing I might add, the players are coming out. No one's given up, and give them a lot of credit. They're not letting those turnovers take away from their ball game. We'll see if Wheaton Central can do the same here in the second half. And let's begin that second half by taking you back upstairs to Ron and Jack.
Well, Joe, certainly no reason to give up at this stage. Down by only 1 touchdown after clawing back. They were down 14-0, but Mount Carmel now within 1 touchdown. And again, they had a key interception late in the first half to keep Wheaton Central from scoring. Let's take a look at some highlights from other championship action and go back to yesterday afternoon, the 3A title game. A great offensive performance by Driscoll against Robinson, including 2 big hitters, including this 64-yard touchdown run by Mike Kaminsky, one that made the score at the time 20-0, and on 4 touchdowns by his teammate Mike Berzawa. And you see they had a tremendous performance. And last night in 4A, Providence of New Lenox with a 9-3 victory over Bloomington. 1 touchdown late in the game, and this was it. Chris Orr on play action, a 17-yarder to his younger brother Justin Orr for the TD that won it for Providence, the state championship in 4A. 5A right now at halftime, and 6A is coming up after this one. Of course, we'll have that for you live as well here on Sports Channel. That will feature Glenbard North out of the same conference. The DuPage Valley is Wheaton Central, this squad right here, and they'll be facing on the perennial favorite East St. Louis Senior, the Speedy team from near St. Louis.
Well, they had a great conference this year in the DuPage Valley, and they sent 3 teams to the state playoffs, and Wheaton Central lost to Glenbard North, who will be playing East St. Louis in the 6A championship game. So that's the quality of competition that they have in the DuPage Valley. 2 excellent football teams right here now. Mount Carmel of the Catholic League South and Wheaton Central of the DuPage Valley.
Is there wind? You better believe it. As you see Mount Carmel setting up to receive. The man who'll be kicking off is Chris Johnson, but the football is being held as it's been all weekend long here at Normal. Scott Flynn, the man who has to hold on to it, so 1 less cover man, at least in terms of the initial surge. Smith will take it at the 8-yard line. To the 20, and he slips and falls. The turf is soaked wet from rain last night. The 22 is where they'll start, 1st and 10. We are live at the campus of Illinois State University at Hancock Stadium in downstate Normal. Normal, Bloomington, Bloomington, Normal. What do you call that? Twin cities backwards and forth in either event. Racing onto the field is Mike McGrew, the 2nd-year starting quarterback for the Caravan of Mount Carmel, a team that trails 14-7 as we're underway in the 3rd quarter. He looks to his left, McGrew, to see where Veronese is standing. He has Bill Phelan off to the right side. 1st down and 10. They give to Cole, and Cole cannot find much of anything. They stoked him. Down for a 1-yard gain, Aaron Bartnick, the man who got him the strong side linebacker.
Wheaton Central again still jumping around on defense, taking that monster man, putting him over the middle, and then adjusting after McGrew comes up to make his audible call. So as we progress here, we can keep an eye on the adjustments that Mount Carmel might make, but we can also watch and see how Wheaton Central is jumping around on defense.
Indeed, John Thorne talks about the need not to show that defense until the last possible moment because McGrew is so good at audibling at the line of scrimmage. Phelan, the man in motion. A fake. He's going to his man. Tight end. Complete. Nice catch at the 43-yard line and down right there. Matt Cushing, the 6'4" junior, made the grab. Chris Johnson grabbed him at the time and then knocked him down. First down.
Absolutely the toughest catch you have to make. As we watch, he throws it up. He's looking over one shoulder right here. Then he has to turn in the other direction, and the ball comes right over the top. Just an excellent catch of the football.
Cushing just falling down there. 20-yard pickup on the pass play to Matt Cushing from Mike McGrew. Veronese wide left, Phelan now in the slot. You see the tight end lined up to the right side, McGrew. Hands it off to the up back, that's Smith. He gets 2 yards to the 45. Steve Buss, the left side defensive end on the hit. A young man who not only excels on the field but off. A grade point average, according to John Thorne, of 5.3 on a 5-0 scale. That's remarkable.
It certainly is. Certainly, I'll have to check my transcript. I might have had some digits off. I went to summer school for nothing.
Second down and 8. Well, yeah, you had to make up those courses you blew earlier.
I had to get the extra digits.
Slot left for McGrew. He throws the quick popper, and it's short. Might have been batted, deflected at a point at the 45-yard line. There were 2 receivers there, Veronese and Phelan. Ben Kloss was closest man to them, but I'm not sure which guy it was intended for.
And if Ray Scherstein here picks this off, he's got clear sailing right down the sideline. You can see right here, he makes a break to come up because he knows he has help deep because they're in a 2-deep coverage. He would have had 6 points.
Third down and 8 for the Caravan. Veronese will go to the right as Frank Lenti watches on. McGrew will walk them up. Gets behind his center, McKenna. Quick snap count. It's being held up in the air, and Scherstein, did he pull it in that time? Did he hang on? Yep. And a 5th turnover committed by Mount Carmel this afternoon.
I'm not sure if that ball was deflected. He was really thrown into a very strong crosswind, and he was actually thrown it into that wind, so the ball just hung up. Let's take a look right here. Just a little fake. He looks back, knowing he's coming back to this side all the time. The ball, he just does not get a good grip on the ball. This is an excellent one-handed catch right here.
Indeed. Puts the ball at midfield. First down and 10 after the pick by Scherstein. The 3rd against McGrew today. This is Clemens. He gets 5.
He has a tough little runner. 156 pounds, and he picks up 6 yards after being hit twice just at the line of scrimmage.
Kevin Zanin, Dr. Z, the man who made the hit. Clemens, an easygoing sort, according to John Thorne. Says he has a great sense of humor and nothing really bothers him much. But for an easygoing young man, he sure goes hard on the field. Came in with better than 1,000 yards rushing for the season. You see 58 today. Second down and 5 at the Mount Carmel 45. The up back Adler, and he is wrestled back, and flags are down. Keith Reynolds, the first man to nab him.
It's hard to tell what that flag is for. It came right after the snap, so it's not encroachment.
8:50 on the clock here in the 3rd quarter of the championship. 14-7, Wheaton Central on top.
I think it's holding.
It is a hold called against that man's team. John Thorne in his 12th year at the helm, 80 victories, 43 losses during his career, and 13-3 in playoff competition overall. You see the referee setting things up, Chuck Esposito, and ready to march off at 10 yards backwards.
They played earlier. They had a big inter-town rivalry with Wheaton North, and they were a little upset because the game had to be played at Wheaton North, and it's been an away game for several years. So what they did is every player took a little baggie and took some dirt from their home field and took it with them to the game so they'd have home field advantage. There's a shot right there of the hold. It's a takedown as if we were in wrestling, and that's where the officials called the hold.
Backtrack to the Wheaton Central 44-yard line. No dirt on this field. It's artificial turf. Jeff Brown to pass. Going long. Almost picked off and caught at the 28-yard line. Chris Johnson Great concentration after O'Neal was right there along with Veronese. Almost intercepted, and Johnson stayed right with it for a nab of 28 yards on the reception, and very close. Indeed, it will be a first down inside the 30-yard line. Let's take another look.
You can see Jeff Brown looking away and then drills the ball right here and deflected, and it almost makes you think, is it's just not our day, I'm sure is what Mount Carmel was thinking. And on the other hand, the Tigers are saying maybe it is our time.
Mazurkiewicz almost had the pick, his second of the day. Instead it goes first down and 10 at the 28 for Clemens to dance around the left side. He's wrestled out. Kevin Zanin and Matt Crimmins are there.
Another 5 yards for Adam Clemens. He certainly runs harder than his 156 pounds.
Clemens, a member of the team that lost in the semifinals, his brother Tyler, and of course Clemens last year in the championship game. The big star last year coming in for this team was Marvell Scott, but he was so banged up they had to use him only as a decoy. His coach says it took 45 minutes just to get his uniform on. That's how banged up he was, and they were one-dimensional. The team was predicated on his talents, and the talents of Clemens gets him another yard or two. And the talents of Mount Carmel's Kevin Reynolds, the right side defensive tackle, knocks him down.
Wheaton Central's offensive line doing a real good job here of controlling the defensive front of Mount Carmel.
Third down and 3. The ball just inside the 21-yard line of Mount Carmel. Wheaton Central on top, 14-7. We are midway through the third quarter. Adams now, Clemens rather, with 65 yards. Better than 4 yards a carry. Of course, his 2 touchdowns of this contest. And he gets it again, but he's hit behind the line of scrimmage. Good move by Matt Crimmins to dance inside and knock him down immediately to get beyond the offensive line to poke him. No gain.
And Matt Crimmins has made those big plays all year long for Mount Carmel. You can see him right here firing the B gap, making a nice tackle on Clemens before he's allowed to get outside.
Well, if Wheaton Central decided to go for a field goal here, we'd be looking at approximately, and they are going to go for it. We're looking at a 38-yard field goal attempt. Johnson 5 for 7 this year. His longest is 39 yards. He won on a last second against Richards in the semifinals with a field goal. This one, though, will pull up short.
I think that was deflected.
Tom LaBelle, it looked like, got a piece of it. Plays linebacker on defense, and on special teams, looks like the Bell may have gotten it. We'll take a break. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Wheaton Central with the lead, but Mount Carmel with the ball. If you think that field goal attempt by Chris Johnson might have been deflected, think again.
You can see right here, it's a high snap. He gets it down. But it's a clean kick. The wind just took it, and he didn't get enough behind it. I do that with my 7-iron. We call it hitting it fat.
Oh, boy. Well, a fat hit attempt that time by Tom LaBelle. He just did miss it. But it did not matter. Mount Carmel has the football at their own 20-yard line. First down and 10, trailing by a touchdown with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Mike McGrew brings them up. He has been picked off 3 times in this game, and on the option, he'll keep it. Gets to 30 and almost lost possession of the ball as he was coming down. Chris Wing and Chris Johnson, the 2 defensive backs, knock him down at the 30-yard line.
It'll be interesting to see how much more option that they run, because that has been the most effective offense to this point for Mount Carmel. Now, they're going to measure on that particular play because it was close to the first down. But McGrew is a 3-year veteran. Now, he can read those defenses, so I kind of think Frank's going to give him his head and let him run the option a little more.
Well, they've got the first down. The nose of the ball just there at the start of the yard line. In fact, if you could see it without the markers coming out to take a look, they would have been able to know that because the line of scrimmage began on that change of possession to miss field goal. It automatically put the ball just at the 20-yard line. So it was just at the 30 they'd have it, and that's what they do have. McGrew today only 3 of 15 with 3 interceptions. The give to the up back, Darrell Smith, and he is hammered backward. Ray Schneerstein, the first man coming in, so the strong safety coming right up to the line of scrimmage to greet him. And he got lots of help by his teammates to bolt him backward.
Well, they're trying to run the outside veer, and the way they run it is they run it inside and dip it out, leaving the outside linebacker on block. But in that particular case, number 56, Steve Buss, the outside linebacker, came down the line of scrimmage and made the play. They saw a lot of film on Mount Carmel, and they know how Mount Carmel runs this option, and they're doing a nice job of defending it.
Phelan is wide to your left out of the screen. Veronese is wide to the right. Play action fake. Look right, goes left. A dying quail of a pass out of bounds, and there was contact beforehand, and screaming from the sideline, Frank Lenti says there was pass interference. However, it did not appear to be a catchable pass, and that may be the key there. There was a collision.
Well, oftentimes after it's deflected like that, contact is made, and this was deflected. Sometimes that will throw off. That was not deflected.
He's having trouble getting a grip on the football.
Well,
that may be an effect of the temperature here.
That and the fact that he's also, that is where the crosswind is coming from, so he's throwing directly into that crosswind. But the other part of it is he's wearing gloves, and I have a tough time with quarterbacks wearing gloves.
3rd down and 9 at the 31. McGrew is having a tough time. Spinning, play action fake, and going deep. Again, some trouble. It holds up, and it's picked off at the 45. Ben Kloss, his 2nd interception of the day. The 4th pickoff of Mike McGrew today, and he is struggling through the air, but not that man. Ben Kloss with his 2nd pick of the afternoon, and Mike McGrew is just having all kinds of trouble with that football floating off his hand.
You can see the moment he releases it, he just doesn't get much of a spiral on it. And of course, the wind is a factor. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But there he was throwing kind of with the crosswind, but he just hung it up. The receivers never did beat the defensive backs.
A tough attempt to try for the deep pass. Back to live action. The give is up the middle beyond the 50 and back into Mount Carmel territory.
Phil Adler on the inside trap, again keeping them off balance, running the trap inside and the tosses outside to Adam Clemens. And they're doing a nice job with the offensive play calling.
Kilroy makes the hit. It is 2nd down, a little less than 3. Make it a little less than 4, I should say, yards to go. Wide to the right, Chris Johnson. Up at the top of your screen, Swadlin. Actually, Swadlin, the tight end right. Check it. This is Clemens, that's for sure. And he's down at the 45-yard line. Kilroy again, the linebacker on the stop. And Mazurkowitz over to help him out as well.
I think we might have a flag down.
Well, let's see. There is a yellow marker down.
You can see Adam trying to squirm in through a seam right there, but we do have a marker, and it is holding.
2nd time they've been called for holding in their last 2 possessions. That'll knock it back 10 yards.
And that really hurts because he was on that last play, was only 2 yards from a 1st down. And now that puts them back into their own territory.
Offense.
5 penalties total in this game. And so that brings it back to the 42-yard line back in Wheaton Central territory. Tigers facing a 2nd and 14. Clock continues to tick here in the 3rd period. Slot formation to the left side. And back to pass goes Brown. Looking to the sideline and holding up to make the grab is Swatlin out of bounds into Mount Carmel territory at the 44-yard line. That ball just hung up a little bit as well, but this time the defenders not able to come back. They were playing behind him, and Reynolds and Zanin were close by, but here's Swadlin.
Watch him raise his hand. The defender has no idea where the ball is, and it's underthrown, and he comes back to pick it up with the 1st down being the line right there. As you can see, he just barely gets past the 1st down marker. The defensive back had no idea where the football was.
And Keith Reynolds, a man who ran by him trying to cover on the play. The left side end, outside linebacker, depending on your favorite terminology. To go with only 3 down linemen does Mount Carmel. Jeff Brown gives to Adler. Left side. Oh, is he nailed? He tries to hit that left tackle hole, and Matt Crimmins just filled the hole immediately.
Well, that was a great read by Matt Crimmins because it's a trap. Watch left guard trapping right here, and you see Crimmins coming right up inside the trap, making that great hit on Phil Adler, and that's why Crimmins is the leading tackler for the Mount Carmel Caravan.
They gave him about a half a yard. 2nd down, we'll call it 9 at the 43-yard line in Caravan territory. Matt Crimmins, the man who made the hit, leading tackler for this Carmel squad, a 5'9", 185-pound senior, and boy, did he smack up against the 191-pound fullback. Slot left. The give goes to Adler again as he dives ahead to close to the 40-yard line. That time the 6'5" defensive tackle Simeon Rice along with nose guard Josh Barron knocked him down.
Well, it's been a real chess match here with the defenses of both teams jumping around, giving different looks to the offense and somewhat stymieing what they want to do as far as running plays. They're giving a confusion to the offensive line as far as blocking responsibilities. You can see them hopping around right here.
Wheaton Central is converted half the time. 3rd down and 6 at the Mount Carmel 40. Brown has to dance away into pressure. He's brought down, but a flag as well.
Holding.
Simeon Rice forced the play along with defensive end Lance Kensinger, the 5'11" senior. A hold as well.
You feel a momentum swing here. It almost feels as if Mount Carmel just feels as if that they're getting that swing. You can see right here he's pressured. Good contain here by Mount Carmel, keeping the outside so he can't scramble outside. And then we get a hold beyond that.
Mount Carmel will have the opportunity.
Decline.
Yep, to decline.
4th down.
And that's the key there. 4th down and 6 at the 40-yard line. Adam Clemens, the running back, is the punter, and Wheaton Central took its time. Both teams did in changing the teams from offense, defense over to special teams. 1:47 to play in the 3rd quarter of the 5A state championship. The rematch of a year ago's Mount Carmel victory, 24-0. But it's 14-7 Wheaton Central today. Good snap. Low punt. And bounces right over the head of Joe Glass for a touchback. So the Caravan will have it at the 20-yard line. And Mount Carmel, which has been struggling offensively, as Mike McGrew has thrown 4 interceptions. A bundle of turnovers today. In all, 6 turnovers committed by the Caravan. A reminder, the broadcast rights to today's game have been granted to Sports Channel by the Illinois High School Association. Any rebroadcast or reproduction of this game without the written permission of the IHSA and Sports Channel is strictly prohibited. On the fake, McGrew has to cut back himself, breaks a tackle outside the 25 to the 29. Aaron Bartnick finally nailed him, but not before McGrew broke a couple of tackles along the way. There is a flag down at the 18-yard line, and that's going to bring it back. Holding call against Mount Carmel. McGrew there looking toward the sidelines to his head coach Frank Lindsay, finding out the plays. Again, he likes to audible, but we've talked about it. He's having trouble passing today, and McGrew came in with 942 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions all year. So he's more than added 50% to that total in just one game here in the championship game. Not the kind of game he'd like to remember. Remember, a year ago, he scored the final touchdown for Mount Carmel. In fact, scored 2 touchdowns rushing, did Mike McGrew, in the 1990 title game. 6 penalties all told, pretty even in that category. And that sends them well back. 1st down and 21 yards to gain from the 9 of Mount Carmel. And on the run, another flag goes down. So too does Andre Cole. And Steve Buss, the man who knocked him down.
Sure we're going to get another hold here. Yep, we did.
Check it, Bill Phelan on the carry. So Mount Carmel is backing up. And the clock is starting to back down from what they need. 1:24 on the clock. They are down by only 1 touchdown, and the penalty is declined. Let's see if we can find it on the replay.
Just a draw right here. Right on top, right there, it just went down. You can see the takedown right there. 2 points and a holding call.
2nd down and 19. So it negates the yardage gained by Andre Cole. Wideout see the way. Berenice the man to the left on the option pitch. Got some room. Thurell Smith to the outside 15, and he is squirreled down at the 20-yard line by Chris Wing.
This is one of the first times that they've really been able to get the ball out on the perimeter on the option pitch to Thurell Smith. Wheaton Central's been doing a real good job mixing up the defense. You can see Frank trying to look for some long yardage offensive plays there from his play sheet. And there's the signals going in. Good sign of concentration there by Mike McGrew.
Frank Lenti is 6th time in postseason play in 8 years coaching the Caravan. 88-15 his overall record. 15 losses in 8 years, less than 2 per season. 3rd down and 10. Smith gains 5, but not enough. Bartnick, the strong side linebacker who plans a future in engineering, engineers the tackle. 4th down and 5 at the 25, and the punting unit will be coming on for Mount Carmel as you see the stare from Aaron Bartnick, that linebacker on defense. His older brother Craig was an offensive guard for this Wheaton Central team a year ago. Punting unit is in. Don Veronese will punt it away.
Wheaton Central should come out with some good field position here if Adam Clemens is able to handle this punt. That's key, is catching it so it does not get that AstroTurf bounce.
In the air, low punt, and the AstroTurf bounce will send it out of bounds. At midfield, great position for Wheaton Central with a half a minute to go in the 3rd period. 26-yard punt. So after having that long one earlier, Veronese struggles with that one. Wind continuing to whip. Wind chill factors in the teens, temperatures in the 30s, and they tell us it will continue to drop. Wheaton Central with a 1-touchdown advantage. The score is coming in the 1st half. And they will send Chris Johnson wide to the right side. The fake up the middle. Swatland. He's down at the 35. Tony Mazurkowitz on the hit along with the free safety Veronese. 1st down and 10 in Mount Carmel territory. Place it at the 36.
Randy Swatland, a little fake action here with the trap, and the tight end coming right over the middle. What they're doing is they're freezing the 2 inside linebackers with that trap fake, keeping those linebackers in shallow, and then Swatland, the tight end, just goes right over the top, and Brown is able to get the ball into him for a nice pass play, and Swatland's taking a beating going over the middle.
4 catches, 59 yards for Swatland so far in the game. From the 36 on 1st down. On the draw, there's virtually nothing there, a gain of a yard. And that is all for Adam Clemens. Kensinger is there along with Cremens. And the 3rd quarter has come to a close, and that man showing a stare, maybe a mild smile, if you can call it that. And that man there is walking solemnly, trying to figure out how he can get things done with 1 quarter remaining in the championship game.
John is not real happy right here.
Well, John Thorne is not happy with his quarterback, Jeff Brown, about something. But right now, they prepare to begin the 4th quarter of play. He's got to be happy with that score. His Tigers are on top. To the 4th quarter of the state championship game. Wheaton Central, a year ago, shut out by Mount Carmel. This year, trying to get some revenge. 14-7 the score. John Thorne, their head coach, came in saying, you know, he doesn't really like the term revenge. He just respects Mount Carmel. He wants to win it all, but these players have been talking about the Caravan all season long, including this quarterback, the senior Jeff Brown, who has an eye backfield behind him and a slot formation to the right. Adam Clemens, the tailback, gets it out to the 30-yard line. That's where Lance Kensinger meets him.
He doesn't need much of a seam there. He's got such quick feet, and of course he's only 156 pounds. Watch right here. It's just an isolation where the right guard double teams with the nose man, and the fullback blocks up on the middle linebacker, and he picked up 5 yards. Adam Clemens has been doing a great job all year long, averaging 6.3 per carry for the Tigers of Wheaton Central.
3rd down and 5. The ball at the Mount Carmel 31-yard line. Johnson wide to the right side. John Ellsworth is wide to the left. Adler with a carry up the middle. 1st down and more to the 20. Gets all the way down to the 16-yard line. Tremendous run up the middle. Broke a tackle before Don Veronese finally hung on to squirt him down to the turf.
Well, he's been the key those last two playoffs, but watch the block right there. Just a little X block or faux block between the guard and the center. And Phil Adler in a nice run right up the gut. Just a heck of an effort right here. And he's been the workhorse these last 2 games against Joliet Catholic and Richards in the quarterfinals and the semifinals.
Saw him break away from Lance Kensinger along the way. It is first down and 10 with the ball at the 16-yard line of the Caravan. Some movement on the line. Movement by Adler to gain a couple. Josh Barron, the nose guard, makes the hit. And let's go down to the field and check in with Joe Passion. Joe?
Ron, last quarter while I was on the other side of the field on the Wheaton Central side, it's interesting how Jeff Brown will go to the sideline, as you guys have talked about, talk with his coach, but a lot of times he will suggest to Coach John Thorne what he wants to run. And John usually says, okay, go with it. And thus far, it has been working. Back now down to the field and see how it continues to work for Wheaton Central.
John Thorne knows about chemistry. He teaches accelerated chemistry in school during the course of the day, and the chemistry not good on that play. Flags are down. There'll be no fumble.
I think right there, number 80, Randy Swatland jumped. And again, that's a situation where tacks on 5 yards on Wheaton Central, and it's going to really hurt this drive right here when they're down in the territory, and you don't even get an opportunity to run a play, and you lose 5 yards.
Swatland also has been their top receiver in this game so far. What we're looking at here, the give to Phil Adler, and boy, he lost that ball. They may be lucky that he jumped on that play.
Watch the feet right on the top. You can see the feet moving right there at the top, the right-hand corner of your screen, and that was Randy Swatland jumping offside for Wheaton Central. 5-yard penalty.
That was a great look at his shoes, if nothing else, huh? Swatland certainly has done the job offensively today. Second down, 13 yards to go. Ball at the Caravan 19. He gave it to Clemens, breaks a couple of tackles to get back down to around the 15. His knee might have been down at the 17, but no. And Lance Kensinger, the man they call LT, they liken him to Lawrence Taylor at times. Why, he's the man who makes the hit. One of those Ninja Turtles on the defense for Mount Carmel.
Adam Clemens really doing a fine job of making something happen when there's nothing there, and of course that's what's led him to 14 touchdowns throughout the season for Wheaton Central.
Third down and 15 with the ball down at the 15-yard line. Clemens with a couple of touchdowns today. They've done better than half the time than converting successfully. They'll try it through the air. The quick pass inside was almost picked off by Veronese as he stepped in front of Chris Johnson. Instead, it falls incomplete, calling up a fourth down, and likely the kicking unit will come in to try for a field goal.
He tries to drill this on a quick post, and he drills it right in between 3 defenders. A very, very shaky, questionable throw by Jeff Brown.
They will set up the tee at the 22-yard line, so Chris Johnson will attempt a 32-yard field goal. He missed one earlier from 38 yards here in the quarter. Kick is up.
No.
But it is wide right. No good by Chris Johnson, who had missed only 2 field goals in 7 attempts on the year coming into the game. But he has missed 2 here in the second half, and Mount Carmel now with 8:56 to go in the fourth quarter still has a chance. This is only a 7-point game.
Well, that was a tough cross when he was kicking into, and in most cases he probably should have aimed for the left upright and let the ball drift, but it looked as if he aimed for the middle, which is normally what you do with no wind, but the ball carried over too much.
So Mount Carmel has it at the Caravan 20-yard line. The up back. No, he keeps it. Quarterback on the option. And MCGREW carries it to the 25 or 26. A good fake, but he took his time going around the left side before Bartnick brought him down.
You can see right here the responsibilities everybody takes. Somebody is on the quarterback right here and somebody on the pitch man. You can see at the top of your screen, he has nobody to pitch the ball to. So what they're saying is we're going to take away Pharrell Smith and force MCGREW to run with the football.
Still managed to pick up 6 yards on the play. Second down from his own 26. The fake again on the option. Nobody behind him this time. He's got to eat that at the 25-yard line, and his back coming around. Andre Cole appeared to be out of position with him.
Well, what's happening is they're playing a 2-deep coverage. The corner is coming up and taking the pitch man, and the safety and the linebackers are scraping quick enough. Let's see if we can see it right here. A little counteraction. The guard is pulling. Right now, you can see right there, number 1 coming up to take the pitch man. He's forced up inside, but the linebacker's scraping, who has quarterback responsibility, making the play.
So it's a loss of a yard, third down and 5, and that pitchman, Andre Cole, was actually in front of the quarterback, MCGREW, so he could not have taken a pitch. Slot formation left. Some movement. And a pass play, and it'll be picked off and dropped
And we have a
by
penalty.
Ben Kloss. But a flag is down, we mentioned, and it looked like, I think, one of the running backs jumped too soon. It will be illegal motion. I think it was Cole who started moving forward before the snap. Mike McGrew, the quarterback. He enjoyed the taste of victory a year ago and trying to see if he can bring his team back from a 7-point deficit.
You saw the left halfback, Andre Cole, getting offside right there down that dive fake.
Illegal motion by the offense. Decline. 4th down.
So 4th down now, and time to punt the ball away from Mount Carmel. You hear one of the assistant coaches starting to scream out, 4th down.
Well, again, a key will be handling the football here on the punt. You can see the left halfback right there moving before. Look at the ball and look at the halfback. You can see right there he is moving before the ball is snapped. Great call by the officials.
7:33 to go. Mount Carmel forced a punt. 4th down and 5. Relatively low snap. Veronese just does get it off. And Johnson takes it, make it Clemens at the 38, at the 40, and down there by the swarming Caravan special team members. But Wheaton Central has the ball. And keep in mind, they have been able to maintain possession most of the way. They have dominated in terms of holding on to the football and controlling it. And they control the scoreboard right now, and they've got the ball again. We are back on the campus of Illinois State University, and Wheaton Central trying to get a measure of revenge after losing the title game a year ago to Mount Carmel, leading the Caravan 14-7. The clock shows 7 minutes and 16 seconds, and that is all for this team right now. That's how long it could be, potentially, to racking up a state championship and snapping a 19-game record consecutive playoff winning streak for Mount Carmel, not to mention 3 straight state championships. Sun starts to peek out as Adam Clemens peeks to the right side and gets to the 44-yard line. 7:08 and ticking down. Matt Crimmins made the hit. Let's take another look.
Watch the guard pulling right here in front of Clemens. They're trying to seal off those linebackers. But right here, that's just a real active Mount Carmel defense making a job. And, of course, that's Matt Crimmins who's been doing it all year for the Caravan.
Crimmins, a 5'9" senior, and his head coach, Frank Lenti, along the sidelines as they set up for 2nd down and 6. Back to pass goes Brown. Oh, it's knocked out of his hands. And no falling, and now they try to go down for it, and Mount Carmel appears to have recovered. The Caravan will take it. The man who batted the ball away, Simeon Rice, the left side defensive tackle, and Kevin Reynolds is the man who comes up with a fumble recovery. But a great play by the 6'5" Rice.
Well, what happened, what leads to this is the tight end is knocked down, and that throws off the timing of this route. You can see right there, he comes in and hatchets the arm of Jeff Brown. A great defensive play right there by Rice. And you could see right there how the tight end was knocked down, and that threw off the timing that allowed Rice to come in and make the great play.
Mount Carmel 7 points away from tying, and now in Wheaton Central territory. And the option, McGrew keeps it, and he will get about 5 or 6 yards on the carry. So plenty of time now for the Caravan. Chris Johnson made the hit. Let's take one more time here at the turnover, and the motion here is cocking his arm as Brown.
You can see number 80 goes down and throws off the timing, and all of a sudden Mount Carmel's got the football, and this is the first time their bench is throwing some enthusiasm down there. They're starting to get a little fired up.
2nd down and 5. Lots of time and great field position to try to tie the game. Phelan wide to the right side. The give goes to Smith. Up the gut. He gets beyond the 25 to maybe the 24-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 2.5 yards to gain. Talk about momentum swings. This is a team that has turned the ball over 6 times. That man, number 4, has thrown 4 interceptions. And that man right there is worried. And he has reason to be, because Mount Carmel with 3rd and 2 has a terrific opportunity, but they have struggled in 3rd down conversions today. 5:10 on the clock to pass it. It's almost picked off, and it's incomplete. Aaron Bartnick had it go right through his arms. He thought he had it, and he could not take it. And now it is 4th down for the Caravan, and it looks like they will call timeout to talk it over. Let's see it.
You can see right here, great coverage by the linebackers coming right up inside underneath, and had he picked that off, he'd been gone.
Bartnick was shocked here, shocked that he could not pick it off. We'll take a break. 5:05 to play in the state championship game. It's a dandy 14-7 Wheaton Central on 4th down coming up. We may have the key play of the ball game coming up. 5:05 to play. Mount Carmel trails 14-7. They have the ball in the Wheaton Central 24, but it is 4th down and 2. Frank Lenty was on the field talking to his team, and here we go. Mike McGrew on a quick snap count. They're going to pass it on 4th and 2, and it's incomplete, but a flag is down. Chris Wing may have hit him too soon, and it may be 1st down for Mount Carmel. And what a gutsy call by the Caravan. It will be against Wheaton Central. Let's listen in. Pass interference indeed is the call. That is a half the distance to the goal line penalty. Let's take a look at the collision.
Well, the ball is in the air, and the moment the ball's in the air, see, he was out of bounds anyway. I don't know if he was pushed out. If he's pushed out, he's eligible to come back in. If not, I
pass was too high.
See, I don't know where the...
And it was out of bounds. Look at this. He's already out of bounds here.
Well,
but the Caravan gets the break. 10. The ball is at the Wheaton Central 12-yard line.
Defense. 1st down.
1st down for the Caravan. What a big penalty. Pass interference against Chris Wing. Wide to the right goes Phelan. Veronese off to the short left side. You see the split backs. The give goes to Smith up the middle inside the 10, and he is hammered down inside of a pile at about the 7. But a good gainer. And good line charge from the left side for Mount Carmel. Jason Martin tackled him.
The going is getting tough down in here.
Gain of 5 on the play.
You can see the cutback right here. And Wheaton Central swarming to the football, gang tackling, trying to rip that ball out of there. Mount Carmel's on the drive.
4:29 to play in regulation. Matt Cushing will be the tight end to the right side. Veronese tight to the left. In motion goes Phelan. On the crisscross, Phelan takes it at the 5. Touchdown, Mount Carmel.
They're going to go for the tie here.
Drama for the Caravan. 3 consecutive state championships to their credit, and at the moment 1 point away from tying it up here in the 4th quarter of the 5A championship game. And they will set down a tee for the extra point try, but not until first we have a indication there'll be a timeout, but no timeout called. The key here, Tony DeFlippo will snap, George Nolan will hold. Ante Kopp, the soccer left-footed kicker, will get the try. The line drive is there. We have a tie game in the championship. And what a comeback for the Caravan of Mount Carmel. Look at the jubilation from the man who has just tied it up on the extra point kick. The Caravan right back in it with 19 straight playoff victories over the last few years. They have not lost a postseason game since the 6A semifinals against East St. Louis Senior way back in 1987. And they are right back in it. They had trailed in this game 14-0 early.
Well, as we look at the touchdown here, it's a combination of the over-aggressiveness of the Wheaton Central defense right here, and they just come back with a wing-back reverse, getting that guard out in front of them. It's just a foot race right here for the corner of the end zone. A real gutsy call, but a good call because Wheaton Central was really going to the football. And you can see here, it's just nothing more than a foot race, and he wins the race.
So the flanker coming around to take it in on the 7-yard touchdown run around the right side. A 14-14 tie. What a tremendous championship game.
You know, we talked about the game before, and Wheaton Central coming through a very tough bracket, and we've gotten more than we could have bargained for in this football game. It's been an excellent football game. Here's a look at the scoring drive. Only took 6 plays for Mount Carmel to march 32 yards and to score the tying touchdown.
And that is the longest scoring possession that they have had in this ball game. Longest possession of the game, period. Going to have to again hold it down. They're going to move it across since that wind.
Well, a good reason for it, because if they kicked it from the other hash mark, he would have been kicking into the crosswind. Here, he's going to use the crosswind to carry it across the field. What he wants to do is not kick it straight ahead, but kick it across the field using that big wind.
Chris Johnson is deep to receive. Top to kick it off. It is low. He'll keep it down on the ground. A bouncer, tough one. Johnson has trouble. Picks it up at the 4. To the 10. And down at the 12-yard line. So Wheaton Central has it deep in its own territory with 4:06 remaining in regulation. A tie game in the 5A championship. And this crowd is loving it.
We've got the best seats in town. We're up here in the booth seeing a great football game, and we're not down in that field freezing. It's cold down there, and that wind is a big, big factor.
I don't think John Thorne is feeling the cold right now as much as he's feeling the heat, the pressure. First down and 10, the ball at the 11. Brown back to pass. He's got his man wide open, and Clemens drops it. Second down. Nobody was on Clemens. He just could not hold on.
He's coming out of the backfield. You can see number 20 right there releasing to the weak side of the field, and he's wide open, and he takes his eye off it just for a moment and drops the football. But you can see he's just releasing it into the flat, weak side, just drops the football.
Clock stopped at 3:49 here in the 4th quarter. Second down and 10 at their own 11. To pass again is Brown. Diving catch made at the 20-yard line by John Ellsworth, who came in with 27 grabs on the year. The defenders who grab him, Mazurkiewicz and Kilroy, and 3.5 and ticking down. Ball at the 20-yard line, 3rd down and 2. Boy, it is pressure time, and coming in after checking with John Thorne on the sideline, Jeff Brown for the play. Brown more than 1,700 yards passing on the year coming in for 16 touchdowns. He's only been picked off, believe this, one time all year. 3rd and 2, they'll run it. Clemens cuts back the other way to get the first down to the 25-yard line. And a flag is down. Simeon Rice knocked him down, but Clemens with great second effort to get the first.
This will be a backbreaker if it's against Wheaton Central. They're moving the sticks, so it's apparently not.
No, in fact, what that was not a flag. It was a yellow piece of cloth that Randy Swadlin has in his pants. It just fell out. Used it to wipe his hands along the way. So there's no flag, and it's a first down. 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. At the Wheaton Central 25. Brown on the draw, and he's hit immediately as Clemens gets 1.5 yards. Josh Barron, the nose guard, right there to nestle him down.
That was an excellent play by Barron, because you are in a passing situation. Watch the man right over the center. Read it right here, slide off, and make the big play on Phil Adler. An excellent job by Josh Barron.
There is tension by Mount Carmel trying to defend its ground. Tension by Wheaton Central, which did take advantage of a couple of the 6 turnovers committed by Wheaton Central. There is tension by the Tiger cheerleaders. And now there is tension on the offensive side with a 2nd and 8 situation. Brown to pass again. Looking deep. Nothing there, and he's sacked. Matt Clemens, the first man in, the linebacker, the leading tackler on this team. He is joined by Josh Barron and Kevin Reynolds as they nail him way behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 22-yard line for a loss of 5.
You credit this sack right here, the secondary of Mount Carmel, because they really did a great job of coverage on the wide receivers. And Brown saw that and had to break down. But that time, the rush was on him. So that goes to the secondary, the great coverage here, which forces the sack here for Mount Carmel. Jeff using good judgment here, not putting the ball up for grabs.
Timeout on the field. Mount Carmel and Wheaton Central will talk things over. Frank Lente has come out on the field to talk to his crew. And you see there Ante Kopp, the field goal kicker for this Mount Carmel team, warming up just in case he has an opportunity in regulation. 1 minute and 54 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of a tie game. And what a tremendous comeback we've seen by the Caravan after committing 6 turnovers in this game. We'd like to take a moment to acknowledge some of the folks responsible for today's coverage. Our producer director is Bob Albrecht. Our coordinating producer is Greg Bowman. And our executive producer is John Toohey. A 14-14 tie. 3rd down and 13, Wheaton Central. The Tigers with the ball at their own 22-yard line. Mount Carmel having coming up with their first sack of the game, and a big one indeed. Slot formation left. Brown to pass. First down territory. Diving, no, he's not far enough. He didn't catch it anyway, or did he? The reception made by Ellsworth. It's on the ground. It's 4th down, and what a hold by the Caravan with 1:48 left.
This is a comeback route. He's sprinting out, and you can see the takeoff route and then coming back the receiver. But he, even had he caught it, he wouldn't have had enough room for the first down. But you can see right there the ball bounces in. But he still, with the catch, would not have had enough for the first down. So Wheaton Central will have to punt the ball away to Mount Carmel.
Only one man deep to receive. A beautiful punt. Joe Glass is there. He's got it at the 47 to midfield. And knocked down at the 45-yard line. So the Caravan will have 1 minute and 36 seconds to set something up after the 32-yard punt by Adam Clemens. And the key here, if you're wondering, Ante Kopp not only has kicked extra points successfully this year, he's got 46, including a couple of today, but he has also successfully kicked 4 field goals during the course of the year. And right now, 1 minute 32 and ticking down. The Caravan's got to hurry out of the huddle. At the 45 of Wheaton Central, here we go. Pressure time, under 1.5 minutes left. Thurell Smith to the 40-yard line. And down there by Steve Buss. Quickly, let's go to the sideline. Joe Passion is there. Joe?
Talking with Mount Carmel quarterback Mike McGrew. His main reason to get in the end zone here, he's going to use the option. He says we want to use the option and then go to the pass. Let the option set up the pass. And, of course, right down here by my left, Ante Kopp. He's the field goal kicker. He's hoping and praying right now as we speak that he gets the opportunity to win the game.
Instead, it's on the option. An opportunity for McGrew. He's done it.
There's your 3-year veteran.
Mike McGrew. An incredible touchdown run with 47 seconds to go. A 41-yarder on the option play. And McGrew scored 2 touchdowns in last year's championship game, has brought the Caravan back with a chance to make it 4 consecutive state titles. Incredible.
Just a great job of running the option by Mike McGrew. And that is really the first time that there was really total breakdown for Wheaton Central in defending the option. Let's take a look at it right here. There's the dive fake. They collapse in the dive man. Nobody has the quarterback. Number 3 was taking the pitch man, but the responsibility of the quarterback was for the linebacker. He wasn't there, and Mike McGrew, a 3-year veteran, takes off down the sidelines for the big go-ahead touchdown for Mount Carmel.
So Mount Carmel, which had been behind 14-0, now leads by a touchdown. And the extra point yet to come. But what an incredible run. And look at the speed of McGrew to run by the defenders. The last man who had a chance was Chris Johnson. And there you see the jubilation by the Caravan. You think they're enjoying this game now? Didn't look that way earlier. 6 turnovers they committed.
That's how it used to look at my house when Mom said dinner was ready.
Ante Kopp trying to eat the final part of the meal. He's got it. It is 21-14, and Wheaton Central has but 47 seconds left for the opportunity. The Caravan, look at that, 21-14, and it would appear that they will have another championship. If they get it today, they will have 4 consecutive titles. Despite Wheaton Central maintaining ball control most of the way. In fact, the Tigers have set an all-time possession record in this game for time of possession during a regulation game. And yet, despite that, and despite 6 Caravan turnovers, indeed, lightning has struck in the guise of one Mr. Mike McGrew. And the Wheaton Central folks not happy, but these guys are happy. Incredible. 6 turnovers committed by Mount Carmel. They fell behind 14-0. But somehow, some way, they have managed to draw from within and option all the way out to a 41-yard go-ahead touchdown run by McGrew. This is the deep man, Chris Johnson, the man who is thinking right now, kickoff return touchdown. And this is the man who will be trying to send it perhaps out of the end zone if he could. Don't even give them a chance. You see them clasping hands. The teamwork, the togetherness. And here is Johnson. Breaks one man's tackle. 25, breaks another, 30. And he is down at the 33. And he twisted almost as if he thought about a lateral. But 39 seconds on the clock. And Wheaton Central down to that last gasp effort. At the 32, make it the 33-yard line.
Well, now we're going to see Mount Carmel go into the prevent defense. They're certainly not going to let anything deep. And, of course, with this wind, it will be tough to throw deep.
Jeff Brown behind center. 34 and ticking on the clock. Quick out left. He's got Swatlin. Does he get out of bounds? He makes the catch. And he did not get out of bounds, so they have to call timeout. 25 seconds on the clock as Wheaton Central could not get out. That pass was thrown just a bit too far undue or into the area of the center of the field. And Swatlin, though, was able to make the grab, but he could not dance a way out. 21-14. Let's see it again.
Mount Carmel's going to let him throw the under routes right here because they've got an awful long way to go, and he tries to fumble it out of bounds. But, of course, the official, his knee was down when he was inbounds. The fumble was after he was out, so obviously he's not going to stop the clock.
Ray Schnurstein, an unhappy young man, sitting on the bench for the Tigers right now and hoping with all hope that his team can pull off a miraculous comeback, a miraculous finish in the final 25 seconds of this game.
Their schools and their community.
The Tigers sideline watching on intently, and the Tiger huddle listening intently to their head coach John Thorne. Wheaton Central, you see, still has 2 more opportunities to stop the clock. That's a big key here. 25 seconds remaining, and that's all.
Well, when I left the house yesterday morning, my daughters, Kara and Megan, said, is that game going to be any good? They played each other last year. Mount Carmel beat them. And I said, yes, girls, it's going to be a heck of a football game.
2nd down and 3 at the 40 on the draw play. That is Adler beyond midfield to the 45-yard line. 17 seconds on the clock. Mazurkiewicz knocks him down, and the clock is stopped for the movement of chains. They do not have to call a timeout. They have 2 remaining. They'd like to save one if they can, deeper in territory. At the 45 into the 15-yard carry. 1st down and 10. Brown back to pass. Looking toward the sideline. The receiver falls.
And the clock will stop because he's past the 1st down marker.
John Ellsworth. Ellsworth made the reception, but in high school ball, you don't have to touch him. So the clock continued until timeout was called with 9 on the clock. Boy, is that a big play. Slipping on the damp turf after rain last night here in Normal. Let's take another look.
This is a comeback route because he can't go over the top because Mount Carmel's playing a prevent. So he comes underneath right here, slips and falls. Great concentration right there.
And they need a miracle now with 9 seconds. They need a ball thrown into the end zone. They might have 2 opportunities. And the huddle continues for the Tigers of Wheaton Central, who led this game 14-0. But Mount Carmel managing to come back. And how? They are 9 seconds away, the Caravan, from a 4th consecutive state championship, to match a mark set by Joliet Catholic back in the 1970s.
This is just a great way to have a state championship game. 2 outstanding football teams playing it right down to the last second. This is just a great show being put on by 2 excellent football programs.
First down and 10 at the Mount Carmel 32. 9 seconds to play. They load up the left side with receivers. The wide man is John Ellsworth. Back to pass. Some pressure put on. Breaks away and throws it away with 4 seconds on the clock, and they're going to call intentional. Kevin Reynolds, the man who put on the pressure. He did not have a receiver toward the right sideline. So flags are down.
That's a smart play, and I'll tell you why. He's going to lose it down, but the problem is he didn't get sacked, which would have killed the clock because he would have been in bounds. It still stopped the clock.
4 seconds on that clock, which might indicate one more chance. Just one more for that man, John Thorne, in his quest for a state title. He's had that poker face all game long, even when his team was up. Here's the ruling on the flag.
Intentional grounding. Lost it down. Second down.
See, at that point, it really doesn't
We
make any
also have a
difference.
timeout.
As far as that down, they're more concerned with not having lost the time that they would have lost on a sack.
There is one problem, though, and what that's done, though, is set them back about 10 yards. And by doing so, especially with the kind of wind, the cross breeze we have going, throwing into the end zone in a final last-ditch effort is going to be very difficult. We have not seen much in the way of successful deep passing today. Most of these successful throws have been more in the 15 to 20-yard category at most.
Well, the passes that have all been picked off are routes over 10 yards. Every one of those interceptions was routes that were thrown further than 10 yards down the field. And obviously, that affects the trajectory of the football as it's going into this very heavy wind.
8 turnovers in this contest. Wheaton Central did commit a pair. Mount Carmel, the bulk of them. But the Caravan, as you see the sullen faces through the face masks of the crew from Wheaton Central High School of the DuPage Valley Conference. Another DuPage team coming up in the 6A title, so stay right here. Glenbard North against East St. Louis Senior. We'll have it all for you coming up. At the 41-yard line, it is last-ditch effort time with 4 seconds to go. Wheaton Central trailing by a touchdown. Ellsworth wide left, Johnson right near him. Swatlin wide to the right. No tight ends.
4 deep across the top for Mount Carmel.
On the draw play, they go for it, and they squirt the ball intentionally free, but the whistle says it's down, and it's a championship from Mount Carmel. It is 4 in a row, tying a state record and extending their own mark with 20 consecutive postseason victories. A comeback for the champs, the Caravan. And a tough way for things to close out for John Thorne, but look at the fun, the jubilation, the excitement, the celebration. Indeed, they are number one, and number one again, again, and again.
There's a good shot of Frank Lenti picking up his little daughter, congratulating the Tigers of Wheaton Central, who played a heck of a football game.
This will go down as one of the great championship games. Not by the turnovers, but certainly by the determination and the comeback ability and the tension going down to the wire and the congratulatory handshakes for the two sides. You can't fault Wheaton Central. They played a great game. Mount Carmel came in the favored team. Wheaton Central, nobody thought they would be here. Nobody thought they'd be in the semis. Most did not think they'd probably be in the quarterfinals, but somehow this team that wound up second in the DuPage Valley Conference wound up in the championship game after some stunning upsets. But they could not stun Mount Carmel, not in the end, and the Caravan comes up the champ once again.
Well, it was a real difficult road for Wheaton Central to get here. They had to beat Richards on the road, the number 1 ranked team in the state for 5A throughout the entire year, and they beat them 17-15, and of course they upset Joliet Catholic to get here. Great football game.
We will be back to enjoy the happenings of the 5A state championship. Crown it on top of the King's Head, the Caravan of Mount Carmel. They do it again. We are back, and there you see the post-game finale for Wheaton Central, the team that winds up the runner-up for the 2nd straight year in the 5A championship game. John Thorne, the head coach, having directed his squad extremely well into this position to get here. He had his team up, but they could not hold on to it. And John Thorne will be the man accepting the trophy for the second place, the runner-up, Wheaton Central.
Well, it's 2 years in a row that they have been here, and that's a feat in itself to get down to Bloomington to play for the state championship anytime. But to do it 2 years in a row is just a great tribute to John Thorne and Wheaton Central.
You see the tears in the eyes of a young man, Chris Wing, who will go up and accept that trophy. And this may be a gesture on the part of John Thorne to say, it is not your fault. Because he is the man who committed a pass interference that kept alive the second TD score for Mount Carmel. Right now, let's go down with the victorious coach who's standing by with Joe Passion. Joe?
All right, thanks very much. You know, Frank and I are make this a habit over here in post-game coverage the last 4 years. Congratulations, 4 in a row. Second school in state history ever to do that. And, of course, 20 victories in a row in playoff coverage. You've got to feel awfully great.
Well, we feel tremendous about it. We really do, Joe. In fact, we told the kids that we had a chance to really set the pace in state history. Because, of course, Joliet Catholic won 4 in a row. But when they did it, it was 4 wins a year. We had to do it with 5 wins a year. So we feel like that really puts us up there with Joliet and East St. Louis and the real elite program in the state of Illinois.
You know, I was talking with Mike McGrew on the sideline, Frank, and he was saying, we're going to win it with the option. And we're showing a replay right now, that final option that really won the game with Mike leading it.
Well, that was 37. That's our outside veer. It was kind of the old story of let's dance with who brung us. And Mike's a great option quarterback. He reads the option. And I couldn't be happier for him because he really struggled in the first half and he never quit. And at halftime, we didn't yell at him. We didn't give him any pep talks. We just told him we had 24 minutes to show people what we're really all about.
Okay, I know you got to go over and get a trophy, so I'll let you go. Congratulations, Frank. Thanks to you and all the kids.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. A congratulatory Frank Lenti on another state championship for the Caravan of Mount Carmel. And we'll be back with more of the trophy presentations right after this little break and a timeout.
Coach Lenti and his team captains. Please remember to use your
You are looking at the championship trophy for the 5A state title contest won by Mount Carmel. The Caravan 21-14. A fabulous finish for the Caravan as they put this game away at the tail end following a trail of 14-0. But boy, did they come back. And Jack McInerney, what a sensational comeback indeed by this Mount Carmel team.
Mount Carmel's an excellent football program. They're a champion because of what they did today. They knew they could come back. They showed great composure, and they are the state champion.
We can take a look at how they became the state champions. In fact, when you take a look at the way things went during the course of the game, let's take a look at a key defensive play. This was Wheaton Central on defense. McGrew is throwing on a 4th down play, trying to loft a pass to make a 1st down on 4th and 2. And here is a very tough call, but a pass interference is called there on Chris Wing on the attempted reception.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wheaton Central's going to be looking at that play for a long time because, again, it was a very questionable call. Was he in bounds or was he not? And was the pass over his head or not?
However, that pass interference allowed them to come back and tie this game up. Let's take a look at the tying TD.
This was just a great job here by Mike McGrew on the option. He comes down, a 3-year veteran of running the option. Great job. Nobody on the quarterback. They take the pitch, they take the dive man, but now it's just a foot race to Mike McGrew getting into the end zone. A great play and a real clutch situation for Mount Carmel.
That was the game-winning touchdown, the 41-yard option run by Mike McGrew. He becomes the hero in this 5A championship game with that one big play. And celebration time indeed for Mr. McGrew. He has had an outstanding career, ran for 2 touchdowns in last year's title game, and now runs for that big 41-yard option run today. Defensively, Wheaton Central managed to force 6 turnovers in this game. And boy, when you see a team do that and also control the clock most of the way, you would think they're going to win the game. But somehow the Caravan just keeps doing it year in and year out.
Well, they really do. 4 straight state championships. But the key and credit should be given to Wheaton Central. They did a tremendous job on defense. And, of course, this is their 2nd year in the state championship game. John Thorne and his staff deserve a lot of credit along with the players. They did a great job. It was a super football game.
Sensational game played in the tough conditions of the bad wind. And, in fact, a chance for Mike McGrew to redeem himself because early on in the game, in fact, throughout most of the game, he was struggling trying to pass the ball. He came in with nearly 1,000 yards through the air, but keep in mind a young man who really had only been in 2 quarters quarters in most of the games taken out, so his stats could have been much stronger. But he came in here, he was wearing gloves on this cold day and very windy day, and he had trouble. He was intercepted 4 times and had trouble completing his passes, but he comes back and atones for the sins of the aerial game.
Well, he really did, and of course, the key to Mike McGrew is his ability to run the option, and he did that in the key run to win the football game. But Wheaton Central did a great job of defending the option all through the game, forced Mount Carmel to go to the air, couldn't do a good job with it, but when push came to shove, they went back to the option. When Mike McGrew, he made the big play, and the 4th straight state championship.
Push came to shove indeed, and boy, did they shove things around at the line of scrimmage. Mount Carmel and their ability to come back. They were able to open up some holes, get some running lanes going at times during the course of the game, but well, when you look at it, it really came down to that 4th quarter. Just a tremendous comeback indeed. But hey, don't overlook Wheaton Central. Here's a team that progresses to the state championship game 2 years in a row. I mean, how many teams can do that? And they fall to defeat by 7 points, but they put on a tremendous effort to force 6 turnovers. Great defensive showing by this Tiger team.
Well, it really is. To be here 2 years in a row is a fantastic effort on the part of any high school program. But when you think about it, to be here 4 years in a row and to win it 4 years in a row is even a greater tribute to an outstanding football program at Mount Carmel.
It's a remarkable mark. It ties an all-time record set back in the 1970s by Joliet Catholic. We talked about it, but just as impressive, 20 consecutive wins in postseason play. I don't think there's a team in the NFL, in college ranks, or in the high school ranks elsewhere. Maybe high school somewhere, but I don't know where.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's just a tribute to Frank Lenti and his outstanding coaching staff, the job that they do year in and year out preparing these athletes for the football season.
I understand down in the field we have the victorious quarterback, Mike McGrew. Let's go down to the field with Joe Passion. Joe?
All right, Ron, thank you very much. Mike has been kind enough to come over here. Mike McGrew, the winning touchdown in the end. You kept telling me in the second half, Joe, we're going with the option. That's what's going to win the football game for us, and it certainly did.
Well, we knew sooner or later, you know, the big play would come. After those 4 interceptions, it's kind of tough to throw against this win for me. But my teammates really helped me out. You know, they kept my head up, and that's what really made the difference, because otherwise I would have went down the tube, you know, with my head out. I would have been all screwed up here, but they kept my mind in the game, and I was able to make the right read on the option and take it up from there.
We're showing a replay of the touchdown right now. Tell us a little bit about how it all came about.
Well, basically, the play before that, we ran an option. I handed it off to the dive back, and the end crashed pretty hard on him on that play. So I knew I had a pretty vague idea that he would do that again. So I pulled the ball from the dive back. It was a triple option on the play that I scored. Took it up the field. There was one guy separating me and the pitchback. I gave a little fake, and he went out towards the pitchback, and I was able to take it up from there because they only had one guy to cover 2 of us. So that was kind of a disadvantage for them.
It was a great play and a great game. Congratulations. I'll let you go back and celebrate.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mike McGrew, the winning quarterback, has a lot to celebrate here. In the meantime, we'll take it back up to the guys celebrating up in the press box where it's nice and warm. Back to you, Ron and Jack.
Okay, thank you, Joe. And Jack, final comments.
Well, I think it was a great football game. We did expect it early. We talked about the versatility of Wheaton Central and, of course, the great streak of Mount Carmel. We couldn't have asked for more in a state championship game, and we certainly did get it.
We got it. Indeed, we got it. And the man who got it, Mike McGrew, that 41-yard winning touchdown on the option play. And it gave Mount Carmel the championship. Final score, 21-14. Once again, our state champion is Mount Carmel.